Well, it really does get edgy now. The ball is back with Tim Howard. Bowls it out to Coleman. He's going to race over halfway. Finds Lennon on the near side. Barried out on halfway. Chips it forward, looking for the run of Lukaku. Headed away only as far as Lennon into the penalty area. Again now Morales twisting and turning. He goes down under a challenge from Ron Vlaar, who's only just given away a penalty a couple of minutes earlier. Protests from the Everton players this time though, and good sporting play from Ron Vlaar helping Morales back to his feet. Just seeing that one again on the monitor. Morales just lost his balance and went down. Certainly no contact on that occasion. Well, Everton had missed 3 penalties this season. Before that one from Lukaku, more than any other top-flight side. Barclays missed contentiously a couple of weeks ago. Leighton Baines was on the pitch for that one, and Barclays took the ball and missed the penalty. Baines himself actually missed in the game against Manchester United at Old Trafford, his only penalty miss. Roberto Martinez has said that Lukaku is their only appointed penalty taker, and he stepped up there and made no mistake. Everton are on the ball with Naismith, and now McCarthy, and now Stones. The goal coming at a very good time for Everton. There's still half an hour for them to push on and try and get an equalising goal. Remember that Villa started the day 2 points above Sunderland. Sunderland currently leading, so if Everton were to get back on track here, Sunderland and Villa would be level on points. Everton are looking to try and get level with Lukaku in the penalty area near side, deflected, his cross in towards the 6-yard box, gathered by Given under pressure from Naismith, who was just throwing his head towards the cross but couldn't quite grow enough. Well, the tension is certainly heightened in Villa Park. The volume has increased. And it's the away side right now who have the momentum. The home fans are trying to get right behind their team. And both managers are a little more animated on the edge of their technical areas now. Coleman. McCarthy. On to Naismith in the centre circle. Goes back to Barry. Across to the far side to Leighton Baines. Naismith trying to give him an option further forward. It goes back to Jagielka. Have everybody back behind the ball. Villa sitting back a little bit more now, and that goal for Everton might have a big psychological effect on the home side, who have been very, very confident in the opening hour of the game. And here they come with Cleverley through the centre into the penalty area. Tom Cleverley drives it high past Tim Howard to restore Aston Villa's 2-goal advantage. After waiting 15 months for a goal, he's now scored in back-to-back games. And Aston Villa have a bit of breathing room again. Villa 3, Everton 1. Wonderful ball forward to pick out the run of Cleverley, who got forward so well. Picked up by Bacuna on halfway. Cleverley burst towards the edge of the penalty area, and the through ball from Leandro Bacuna was superb. The finish from Cleverley wasn't half bad either. Bacuna's ball that Barry couldn't reach. Cleverley took one little touch with the outside of his right boot to control it, and then blasted it in to the roof of the net, into the near top corner. Perhaps a little quicker than Tim Howard was expecting. Caught the American goalkeeper by surprise. And I said it was a great time for Everton to get back in the game. It's a great time for Villa to double their advantage again, only 5 minutes after that Lukaku penalty. Now listen to the Noise inside Villa Park. Forward by Akore to Nzogbia. On to Nzogbia again down the line, trying to get away from Baines, and then from McCarthy, who gets a foot in to disrupt his flow. Everton back on the ball. And it was a real moment of quality from Leandro Bacuna, who had a couple of very good assists in the away game at Sunderland when Villa won 4-0. They were 4-0 up at half-time in that game. Bacuna played very well indeed. And he's shown his creativity from that right-back position again here against Everton today. Baines trying to show his creativity on the far side, got stopped in his tracks by Bacuna. McCarthy under pressure from Benteke, challenging back, sliding to force the ball out of play inside his own half. All of those Villa players working ever so hard for the cause. Forward by Baines, met by the head of Bacuna, can only hit it up into the air, but Nzogbia is able to take it down and turn away from Barry. Cleverly moves it on to Grealish. Lovely tidy play from the teenager, and Richardson can get forward on the near side. Delph now. Here's Grealish once more. 25 yards out from goal, twisting and turning. He actually forced McCarthy to stumble to the floor. That's what the cheer from the Villa fans was for. Their team still have it with Richardson just off the near. Delph happy to go backwards to Vlaar. And Grealish then bundled to the floor by Coleman. At the moment, Ron Vlaar's little error of judgment inside his own penalty area. It doesn't look like it's going to hurt Aston Villa. They lead by 3-1 halfway through the second half here on Barclays Premier League Live with talkSPORT. And they have a free kick just inside the Everton half too. Sunderland still winning 2-1 against Southampton. So at the moment, Villa retaining their 2-point advantage over the Black Cats. Now free kick taken in towards Benteke, dropped over the top of the Everton defender to Benteke, who perhaps wasn't quite expecting it. Heavy touch as he tried to bring it down. Villa have it with Delph on halfway. Long ball forward towards Benteke again, nods it down towards Cleverly. He stumbles to the floor but is able to retain possession in front of Gareth Barry. Tom Cleverly is really growing as a presence in this game. Here's Nzogbia over on the far side, cutting inside, finding Cleverly again. Moved on to Delph now, who drives it left-footed, but he didn't catch it cleanly. He scuffs the ball out about 5 yards wide of the target. But excellent build-up play by Aston Villa again. And they have their strut and their confidence back in this game. Tim Shaw has just got up out of his dugout and walked to the edge of his technical area to shout a few instructions. He'll be ever so keen they don't give Everton a glimmer of hope again. There's still a long way to go in this one. 20 minutes left to play. An Everton goal could yet make it a nervy finish. And they have the ball with Lennon. On to McCarthy now. McCarthy moving it on to Coleman on the near side, up against Richardson. Cuts back inside and finds Lennon. Little flick by him to Naismith, trying to feed it through to Coleman, who'd gone on into the penalty area, headed back towards Barry by Lukaku. Barry's drive, left-footed from 22 yards out. He did well to catch it as it was coming back to him on the volley. Made a good connection with it, but it was straight down the throat of Shay Given, who dropped to his knees and gathered the ball in. Certainly been an improvement from Everton in this half. 4 attempts at goal in the space of 25 minutes, having failed to register a single one in the first 45. But Villa have had 10 attempts and they've scored from 3 of them. They lead by 3-1 on Barclays Premier League Live with talkSPORT. The home fans are making a wonderful noise at the moment. Tim Sherwood's side looking for just a 4th win on home soil in the Premier League this season. And even if Villa get the win here, they'll still need another 4 points to beat their lowest ever points tally in the Premier League. That record currently standing at 38 points, recorded last season and in 2011-12. And they look on course for safety at the moment. Everton wanting a corner here, but the ball has ricocheted back off Naismith and behind for an Aston Villa goal kick. Everton, despite their recent revival, still a remarkable 22 points worse off than they were at this stage last season. It doesn't look as though they're going to add to their points tally today. It would be their first defeat in 7, unless they can score a couple of goals in the final 20 minutes. We're about to see the first change of the game. I think we're going to have one for either side. There's activity in both dugouts right now. Ross Barkley, I think, is receiving instructions to come on to the field for Everton. He did start against Manchester United last week. Moved to the bench today. Given away by Lennon. Now Grealish able to get on the ball. He did very well to reach it ahead of Coleman, who then caught him from behind. And Villa have a free kick on the near side, and Seamus Coleman receives a yellow card. Real will and determination from the 19-year-old Jack Grealish to beat Coleman to the ball. Coleman couldn't really stop. Grealish had got there first, and then Coleman caught the heels of Jack Grealish. And Villa have a free kick just off the near touchline that Delph is going to put into the penalty area. Well-flighted delivery just over the head of Benteke. Headed away, and Zogby are able to get there ahead of Baines, who then gets a foot to put the ball out of play for a throw-in on the far side. "73 minutes on the clock. Aston Villa 3, Everton 1. Here on Barclays Premier League Live with talkSPORT. The Toffees back in possession with Jagielka. Moved on by McCarthy, and then Lennon goes back to Stones. Forward by Howard now. You just feel at this stage that Everton have left it too late. Today they didn't really show up in the first half. They were already down by 2 goals when the improvement started after the break. Here comes the change for them now. Stephen Naismith is making way. It's going to be a double change. Naismith and Morales going off, and on comes Barkley and also Osman. So they revert back to the team that started against Manchester United last week. Those two had been the 2 changes coming into today. And a change for Villa coming up as well. Ashley Westwood is going to make way. It's been a little bit of an unsung hero today. Sat in front of the Villa defence and linked the play well. And Carlos Sanchez comes on into that role to provide perhaps a bit more of a sternness and a fresh pair of legs for them to try and see them through the final 20 minutes. They're giving it away here though, Villa. Far side of the penalty area is Osman, instantly onto the ball. Can't find room for the cross though, then finds Barry, who tries to skip through. Might come for Lennon here. Delph had to be careful, sticking out a foot in the penalty area. Barkley drives it in. They're claiming for a handball against Ron Vlaar. Mark Clattenburg instantly said no. The 2 Everton substitutes involved straight away. And Osman on the ball again, hooks the cross in towards Lukaku, away by Richardson. Still quarter of an hour to play, and Everton looking for a bit of a boost after those two changes. Delph this time able to cut the ball out. And he's been able to get away from McCarthy and from Barkley too, and he's released Grealish on the near side. Will he keep it in play, the teenager? He slides to do so and then picks himself back up to get on the ball. Great play from Jack Grealish. Back now to Nzogbia, who drives it in, blocked by McCarthy, and it spins away and out into touch on the near side for an Aston Villa throw. Did very well, Jack Grealish, who seems such a natural already in the first team for Villa. Saw his stats at half-time, 90% pass completion. He played 20 plus passes in the first half as well. And he just looks so confident on the ball and has that eagerness, determination as well that so many young players have, but he's not scared to be out there at such a tender age. He does look a real talent. Free kick has been given against Benteke for just catching Gareth Barry off the Villa throw-in. And now offside has been given against Everton, so Villa have the ball back. Well, this win would lift Aston Villa up onto 35 points. You would feel then perhaps only one more win would be enough. Sunderland trying to close the gap. Sunderland leading Southampton today, and of course Leicester in fine form. It looks difficult for Burnley and Queen's Park Rangers now, the bottom two. And there's still one spot in the relegation zone that needs to be filled if indeed those two are to go down. And even with this win, Villa would still only be 2 points clear of Sunderland. And so long as Sunderland can keep hold of their advantage for the final quarter of an hour. Here's Lennon coming forward for Everton. Villa, of course, have to keep hold of their advantage here as well. Barkley onto Coleman near corner of the penalty area. Now Osman. Lukaku wanted the ball, slipped into it. Osman dancing his way through, pulled the trigger. Shot was slightly deflected, but Shay Given was right behind him. Came through a couple of bodies, the effort from Osman. Caught a little nick perhaps off Richardson or Delph, who were in front of it. Didn't really deviate the path of the ball though. Given clutched onto it. McCarthy getting in front of Grealish to win the ball and move it back to Howard now. Howard under pressure from Nzogbia, can only find Fabian Delph, and Delph is able to turn away from Aaron Lennon. He's been so good on the ball today, Delph. Really has kept it well under pressure. Grealish has passed it well, cleverly has linked things well too. It's been a really functional, efficient Villa midfield. They've started scoring a few goals as well. It was a midfield that hadn't had a single goal in the Premier League this season, from Westwood, Delph, Cleverley and Sanchez, but Cleverley and Sanchez scored against City last week, and Cleverley's got another one today. Here's Lukaku, far corner of the penalty area. Finds Barry, across to Baines. Baines going to get the cross in from the far side, charged down though by Bakuna. Cleverley's cushioned header returns the ball to Bakuna, who can burst forward from right back, and he very nearly slipped in Nzogbia on the right wing. Leighton Baines had to throw himself to the floor to intervene. Nzogbia would have been away. Ball is out of play, right in front of Tim Sherwood. He's about to make another change. Alan Hutton looks set to come on now for Villa. Benteke trying to get on the ball in a tussle at the moment with Gareth Barry on the far side. Just waiting to see if that change is going to be made now. And the throw-in comes in instead to Nzogbia. Hutton is waiting to come on. Zogbia's nifty footwork has got him away on the far side. Plenty of bodies in front of him though. Bacuna flicks it forward to Cleverley, very congested on the right wing. Dragielka got a foot in to put the ball out into touch for an Aston Villa throw, about level with the edge of the Everton 18-yard box. Sunderland still leading Southampton by 2-1. And here comes that change for Villa, who are still leading Everton by 3-1 here. 80 minutes on the clock on Barclays Live with talkSPORT. And a big ovation for Leandro Bacuna, who played a defence-splitting pass for Tom Cleverley's third goal that really eased the pressure on Aston Villa when Everton were looking to build momentum. Cleverley's goal coming just 5 minutes after Lukaku had scored from the spot to get Everton back in the game. Alan Hutton comes on for Bacuna. Straight switch at right back. Around 10 minutes to play then at Villa Park. And Tim Sherwood runs his fingers through his hair and crosses his arms and is hoping those seconds fly by. Still Aston Villa 3, Everton 1 with around 10 minutes to play. Villa looking comfortable again. And a third goal from Tom Cleverley looks to be just about enough, although they won't want to allow Everton back into the game again. Everton have thrown Barkley and Osman into the mix, which has given them a bit of a boost. Had another claim for a penalty, but haven't got that all-important second goal just yet to get them back into the game, and Villa are looking to hit them on the counter-attack. Still Aston Villa 3, Everton 1. Away by Tim Howard from the edge of his penalty area, met by the head of Hutton. Cleverley back on the ball again. Finds Benteke. Delph then moves it on as Benteke fell to the floor. Picked up by Grealish here. Mark Clattenburg saw the contact, but is happy just for the game to go on. Not sure if he was going to give a free kick, but Villa have the ball nonetheless. Delph with a lovely flick again. He's been so good today. Finds Grealish. Moved on to Hutton, who has more space over on the far side. Waiting for movement ahead of him from Cleverley. Goes short to Cleverley instead. Back to Hutton again. Villa are keeping the ball, maintaining possession very well, as they have done for the vast majority of the game. And those passes being greeted by olays from the Villa fans now. It's a wonderful move from Villa as Delph then slips in. Hutton, who gets away. Benteke in the centre, cleared away at the near post by Stones with the big looking for his hat-trick. And it would have been a fine Villa goal had it reached him and had he been able to finish. Everton coming forward now instead with Coleman. Barkley on the ball halfway inside the Villa half. Threads it through to Coleman in the penalty area. Can he turn away from Sanchez? He can. Coleman tries to get away from Nzogbia. Went down under the challenge. Again, not really a great appeal. And Mark Clattenburg didn't even feel the need to gesture that it wasn't a penalty. Just watched on and did nothing. Coleman has it back on the near side though. Lukaku looking for McCarthy now, trying to turn away from Vlaar. Gets away from him and Vlaar pulls him back right on the near edge of the penalty area. Yellow card for Ron Vlaar, who wasn't booked for the challenge that gave away a penalty earlier in the half. And he very nearly gave away another penalty there. He just pulled McCarthy back before we reached the line of the 18-yard box. And Everton have a free kick, just a couple of yards off the byline, almost like a short corner, right on the edge of the 18-yard box, near side. So Villa will have two. Leighton Baines will look to whip this one in swinging, left-footed. Can Everton get back into the game? Instead he plays it short to Lennon, who hangs it up there. Towering header from Benteke. McCorey cleared the ball for Villa. It's come out as far as Coleman. Everton will feel they didn't make the most of that position. Lukaku trying to bundle his way through. Forced Richardson to the ground, but Vlaar was covering and cleared into touch for an Everton throw. 86th minute, Villa are getting closer and closer to 3 valuable points. And they're happy to sit back now and see Everton have the ball. They're getting players back in defensive formation that is plugging the gaps at the moment, making it difficult for Everton to pass through them. And that free kick was a really good opportunity. Baines took it short to Lennon, and Lennon just floated it in towards the danger zone, but it offered too much of an invitation for Villa's big powerful players, big aerial presences like Benteke and Akore to rise and clear the ball. It wasn't really testing for the Villa defensive players, and a wasted opportunity for Everton. They might not get too many more of them. Villa still have to play West Ham here next Saturday, Southampton away, and then Burnley here on the final day. And then, of course, the cup final against Arsenal on Saturday, May the 30th. You can hear all of those games live on Premier League Live with talkSPORT. Villa have a free kick inside the Everton half, about 35 yards from goal. Grealish fouled, they're in no hurry to take it. The home fans are starting to believe now that the 3 points are just about in the bag. It would be only a 4th win at home in the league this season. They've played ever so well today, Villa. Here's Cleverley. Short, succinct passing from Villa to make Everton work, just to keep hold of the ball, and then Barry comes right through the back of Grealish, who's fouled again. And again, Aston Villa will take their time over the free kick and eat away a few more of those precious seconds. Sunderland, by the way, who still lead Southampton at the Stadium of Light, have to go to Everton next Saturday. They've got Leicester at home, and then they finish the season with trips to Arsenal and Chelsea, so a really tough run-in for them. Villa are into the penalty area here, but Zogbia just plays it short, then in it comes from Hutton towards Benteke. Diving header by Stones to clear the ball. I just thought Hutton might have kept hold of it there to stop any chance of an Everton counter-attack. Ron Vlaar comes across to the near side to challenge Lukaku and see out the danger. Barry moves it on to Baines, who waves players forward. Then it goes to the feet of Lennon. Little touch to find Barkley halfway inside the Villa half. Tries to slot it through towards Lukaku, who holds his hands up and applauds the vision of Ross. Had far too much on it, ran all the way through to Shay Given. And Shay Given, who has been back in the team and appeared in the Premier League today for the first time in over 2.5 years, has only been beaten from the penalty spot by Romelu Lukaku. He very nearly got to that one as well. Villa have just a minute or so plus added time to hang on to this 2-goal lead as Everton come forward again with Coleman. No signs of a nervy finish at the moment. Barkley towards the near edge of the penalty area. Coleman once more on the near side. Barkley. Again, Villa have plenty of players back behind the ball. They've worked tirelessly all day long. And here's Barkley on the near side. Goes across to Jagielka. And it goes further across to Barry. Forward ball comes through towards Lukaku, who applauds again, but Barry slipped as he played the pass, and it again was overhit and went behind, this time for a goal kick. And Everton just look out of ideas. Villa are going to waste a few more of those seconds by making another change, their third and final change of the day. Charles Nzogbia makes way, and on comes Joe Cole. And we're about to find out how many added minutes there will be at the end of the 90. He's featured off the bench in 5 of the last 6 games now, Joe Cole, a 3-time Premier League winner with Chelsea. And there's going to be 4 added minutes here at the end of the game. Quite a few Villa fans have left already, pretty confident that the points are in the bag. What a race it is for survival at the bottom of the Premier League, certainly in terms of that third from bottom spot. Sunderland at the moment keeping the pressure on Aston Villa. Howard very cool inside his penalty area, getting away from Jack Grealish and finding Jagielka. Here's Barry on the ball for Everton. As things stand, Aston Villa on 35 points. Would jump back ahead of Leicester, who are on 34. And Sunderland, if they can keep hold of their lead on 33, would still have a game in hand as well, though. Oh, cross turned away by Vlaar. It fell to Lukaku and then ricocheted back off Hutton and just wide of the target for an Everton corner. They rather got away with that. It could have gone anywhere off Alan Hutton. And a big sigh of relief as it ricocheted wide of the target. Everton have a corner 1.5 minutes into added time, and it comes towards Jagielka. High into the air. Gibbons got some defending to do off the crossbar. Jagielka then nods it in off the underside of the bar from just a couple of yards out. Phil Jagielka's 6th of the season has got Everton back into the game again, but do they have enough time? Still 2 minutes of added time to play, and Aston Villa now need to batten down the hatches. Real question mark over the goal. Villa claiming that Gibbon was fouled as it hung high into the penalty area, hit the crossbar, who's being held a little by Coleman. No free kick given though, and then it dropped in the 6-yard box, and then the number 6 Phil Jagielka rose to head it towards goal and in off the underside of the bar. Aston Villa 3, Everton 2. Shay Gibbons shakes his head. He's been given a yellow card for his protests as well. Aston Villa need to regather their composure here. There's still 80 seconds of the indicated 4 added minutes to play as the ball goes long for Everton. It is a nervy finish at Villa Park. Barry on the ball. Goes down the line now to Lukaku. Far side of the penalty area. Corey gets a foot in. Turns the ball out of play for a throw-in. About 10 yards from the corner flag on the far side. The Villa fans are whistling. Waiting for the final whistle, and there's still a minute of added time. Perhaps a little bit more to play. The ball's just got to go into the penalty area. Barkley turning 22 yards from goal. Can he get away from Sanchez? No. Back to Jagielka. Villa have everybody back behind the ball and cleverly puts the ball out into touch for another Everton throw. Tim Sherwood doesn't look calm anymore. Away by Delph, high into the air. Still not out to the Villa half though. Headed back by Jagielka. It's a very anxious looking Tim Sherwood on the edge of his technical area. Out of play. Off cleverly again into the far side. Everton struggling to get the ball back from the fans. Here's McCarthy. It's got to go into the penalty area from Barry up towards Lukaku. Takes it down, cleared away by Richardson though. They're asking for the final whistle now. Mark Clattenburg takes a look at his watch, and there it is. They got there in the end. Aston Villa pick up 3 valuable points in the relegation battle. Christian Benteke scoring twice in the first half before Romelu Lukaku's penalty just before the hour mark gave Everton home. But Tom Cleverley struck a wonderful third for Villa just 5 minutes later, and it seemed like it would be a sure thing for them right until added time. But then Phil Jagielka got a goal back for Everton to make it a very edgy finish at Villa Park, but they get over the finish line and pick up 3 crucial points and pick up just a 4th home win in the league this season. The final score, Aston Villa 3, Everton 2.
Don't miss a second of the drama from the world's most exciting league. This is Barclays Premier League Live. The Barclays Premier League Highlight Show, looking back at another exciting weekend in the world's most entertaining league. The Barclays Premier League Highlight Show with talkSPORT.
Welcome to the Barclays Premier League Highlight Show with talkSPORT for game week 35 of the 14-15 season. I'm Tom Rennie. We start our programme this weekend at Old Trafford. Manchester United already lost 2 in a row. They were hoping to not make it 3 this weekend against West Bromwich Albion, managed by Tony Pulis. Alex Crook was alongside the former Celtic and Brighton defender Adam Burgo.
David De Gea is taking up a position by his left-hand post. There's a substantial Manchester United wall to his right. Darren Fletcher, the captain for West Brom, with that armband halfway down his left arm, is issuing his instructions. Will it be the left foot of Chris Brunt or the right foot of Gardner? De Gea crouches low to get the best possible view of it. It's Brunt, it's deflected, it's into the corner, and West Bromwich Albion lead at Old Trafford again. De Gea rooted to the spot, and Chris Brunt, on his 285th appearance at West Bromwich Albion, gives the visitors the lead. A goal that will be celebrated from here to Liverpool and back again. It clipped off the heels of Herrera. In fact, it hit the backside of Jonas Olsen. It will be his goal.
You're going for the precision of Gardner or the power of Brunt. And Brunt has absolutely smashed it. And you've got Olsen on the edge of the wall, and when he struck it, you knew nothing about it. It's hit you hit his backside, and it's gone flying past David De Gea.
Mata takes it short. Will he get it back off Valencia? Valencia into the penalty area, handball again, and this time it's a penalty for Manchester United, and it's Berahino who is penalised. Well, they had a really good claim for a penalty against Lescott.
It's harsh. I think this one's because he actually hits his elbow. For a referee to give that as a penalty is very, very... You have to be 100% sure, and that is right on the line. It's so difficult to tell.
Robin van Persie, who hadn't scored since February, with a chance to get them back on level terms. It's going to be left-footed, and it's saved by Myhill. Wonderful save down low to his left by the West Bromwich Albion goalkeeper. And then Berahino fouls Herrera right on the edge of the area. It's a free kick this time. Valencia pulls it back to Falcao, and his touch is abysmal as well. Here's Van Persie on the volley. Great save, Myhill. And Valencia's crossed it over the head of his teammates in the middle. And it's gone out on this near touchline. Well, that's as close as Manchester United have come to scoring. It's another wonderful save from Myhill. He hit that so cleanly on the volley, Robin van Persie. Anthony Taylor takes his first look at his watch. Fellaini's flick cleared by Baird. The whistle is in the lips. And there is the full-time whistle to the sound of groans around Old Trafford. It's 3 successive Premier League defeats for the first time in 14 years. 3 successive games in the league without scoring for the first time in 8 years. Manchester United 0. West Bromwich Albion 1.
We are still 4 points ahead, and I was the only one that said it shall be a red race till the end. I'm always saying that. I'm not happy with that, but we are still 4 points ahead, so we have everything in our own hand.
Manchester United 4th at the moment. Liverpool hot on their heels. They were hoping to close that gap against Queen's Park Rangers this weekend. Adam Bridge was alongside the former Arsenal winger Adrian Clarke.
And we're off and underway. Emre Can being pressed and harried here. Back towards his own penalty area by Carl Henry, and then between Hill on that occasion and Corker, they've lost out, and Sterling has it. Wide of him is Lambert. Lambert cutting in towards the edge of the box, plays the cross to Coutinho in space, chance to shoot, Ben's run it in! Philippe Coutinho with yet another goal for Liverpool, and it's an absolute beauty as well. He took his time, he didn't rush, he picked his spot in the top left-hand corner, and he absolutely floated it with pinpoint precision. Liverpool lead here, it's Coutinho again. Liverpool 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0.
It is a picture-perfect finish from Philippe Coutinho. He takes the touch and just bends it into the far top corner. He arrows it in, but let's give Ricky Lambert some credit here. Superb assist from him. He's picked out the Brazilian at the far post with such a It's very, very accurate. He skims it across the turf. Coutinho does the rest. That's a terrific goal from Liverpool on the break.
Wide on the right-hand side is Phillips. Gets the ball across. It's blocked out again by Johnson. And that's going to be another corner. Joey Barton will deliver from that far side. Maybe this will be a better corner than we've seen recently. Driven in by Fur! It's an equaliser for Queen's Park Rangers. Leroy Fur on the volley. At last, the delivery from a set-piece was good, and Leroy Fur rams it home beyond Mignolet, and Queen's Park Rangers are back in this game. It's Liverpool 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Here's Henderson down the right-hand side to deliver this corner, and he does, and Lovren will go up and win a good header again. Skirtor, it's a penalty. He was being held that time by Anua. He went to try and turn it over his head with a bicycle kick, and he's gone down. Anua with a tug, and Liverpool have a penalty kick. Well, if you were nice, you'd give it to Ricky Lambert to get that first goal at Anfield. But it is going to be Steven Gerrard looking for his 118th Premier League goal. Saved by Rob Green, away to his left-hand side. Wonderful save by Green, and it really isn't the ending to Steven Gerrard's season and his Liverpool career that he wanted.
He just doesn't do fairy tales, does he, Steven Gerrard? It's you know, last season was supposed to be a dream for him. He messes up against Chelsea. There's been so many instances like it, and that, I mean, was a great chance to get all 3 points for his side and to score maybe one last goal for Liverpool, but he's fluffed his lines. It's a good save, but it's one of those penalties that where people say it's a nice height for the keeper.
And away they go, this time with Coutinho, who gets the better of Barton. A break on here for Ike, down that left-hand side, who's been caught by Anua, who's just been booked, and surely he's going to get his second yellow. And that will be a red card for Nedum Anua. Martin Atkinson knows it. He goes to his top pocket to bring out that red card. Words exchanged then between Anua and Dejan Lovren. And Glenn Johnson just encouraging him to leave the field. It's a second yellow in the space of about 5 minutes for Nedum Anua. And that will be Queen's Park Rangers down to 10 men for the end of this game. Goal for Queen's Park Rangers is much needed. And for Liverpool for many reasons. And Gerrard has pumped up and got it with a header at the edge of the 6-yard area. He missed the penalty, but maybe dreams will come true for Gerrard. It's another goal in front of his beloved Kop. 118 Premier League goals, and Gerrard may well have won the 3 points for. It's Liverpool 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Would you believe it?
You sometimes find a lot of players that when they miss a big penalty like that, normally their game goes and their confidence goes, but he's the total opposite. He's one of a unique group of players that whenever they need to respond, they normally do, and outstanding header, and obviously gets us the win.
Liverpool relying on Steven Gerrard yet again for a late winner. He will be missed from the Barclays Premier League. Leicester City's great run came to an end against Chelsea in midweek. They were hoping to get back to winning ways against Newcastle United this weekend. Richard Connolly was watching for us alongside the former Chelsea winger Clive Walker.
Mike Dean waits, gets the all clear, blows the whistle. It is time to get stuck in for Leicester and Newcastle and do what is necessary to stay in this league. Leicester instantly on the front foot, playing in the royal blue, and it's Schlupp down the left-hand side with a low cross, instantly winning a corner after 14 seconds, Clive Walker.
What a start for Leicester. I mean, Nigel Pearson must have set his team up to do exactly what they've done. You know, Newcastle just haven't had a chance to breathe, and the fans are right behind City.
In comes the Leicester corner towards the near post. The head is in! Leicester have scored! Leonardo Ulloa on 37 seconds! That's the message to the rest of the Premier League from Leicester. What a start! Ulloa heads them in front. Newcastle already behind and confused. 1-0 to Leicester. The referee has got the vanishing spray out. Williamson exhorting his colleagues to defend this somewhat better than the early corner from which Leicester scored. In it goes again, they haven't! It's another goal! Dreadful defending from Newcastle, and it's Morgan who's celebrating, the Leicester captain. Well, Newcastle can't defend set pieces. And if it carries on like this, it'll be 8 defeats running, and Leicester will be one step closer to safety. Their heads are all shaking at the back for Newcastle, and there are smiles are gigantic for Leicester. 2-0 after 16 minutes. In comes the corner near post, and it was headed away. It's a penalty. It's a penalty for a foul on Vasilevsky at the near post. Riviere is being pointed out by the referee. Vasilevsky's being hugged. To have the chance to score a third goal 2 minutes into the second half. Ulloa steps back. Tim Krul famously saved a penalty in the World Cup. What can he do here? Ulloa steps forward for Leicester and blasts it in beyond Krul into the net. and it's 3-0 to a surging Leicester City. Newcastle United are plummeting. This will be 8 losses in a row for the proud North East club, and they are right in the relegation mix. 3-0 to Leicester. Oh, on the near side, Vardy comes towards the ball, and the tackle came in, and Vardy's gone flying into the camera down there. Williamson has made the challenge, and Williamson's got a second yellow card. He's off. Mike Williamson's been sent off, but I have to say there's concern for Jamie Vardy, who went flying into the camera. I mean, that looked horrendous. Newcastle haven't scored an away goal since the middle of February at Crystal Palace in a 1-1 draw. Away form is often a barometer, isn't it, of the way a team feels about itself, as Vardy is hacked down again, and there's another yellow card and a red card, another sending off for Newcastle. This time it's Jan Mart. They are down to 9 men. 8 consecutive defeats, 9 men on the field. They're losing by 3 goals at Leicester. This is just dreadful for Newcastle. How could it get worse? They are being taunted, and they have been outplayed by Leicester, and they are ending pretty close to disgrace.
It's constant. It keeps happening. Why does it keep happening? We can put people in the right areas. We can talk about defending it deep, defending it high, man-for-man marking. But if you ain't got the desire to want to get on the end of the ball and head it, like their back four did, back three, or their team did, then what can I do about that?
Some incredible comments by the Newcastle manager, John Carver, after that match. 8 straight defeats now for the Magpies. Elsewhere this weekend, Aston Villa, the FA Cup finalists, took on Everton. Here's Tim Lock.
Listen to the noise inside Villa Park. Plenty of encouragement already from the home fans. They realise how big a game this is, how big an opportunity it is to keep themselves within touch of Premier League safety. They want to capitalise on this spell of possession in towards Benteke, and they do. Cross in from the far side from a deep position, met by the head of Christian Benteke. The Belgian battering ram continues to demolish all in his path. 10 goals in 9 games for Christian Benteke, and in the most historic fixture in the English top flight, that could be the goal that goes a long, long way to keeping Villa in the Barclays Premier League. Aston Villa 1, Everton 0. And last time, a corner from the same far side between the Trinity Road stand and the North stand. Jack Grealish planted an inch-perfect cross onto the head of Ron Vlaar, who really should have made it too. Can they link up again? It's in towards Vlaar once more, and coming into the back post was Christian Benteke to double his and Aston Villa's tally just before half-time. It's now 11 goals in 9 games for the big Belgian, and Villa within touching distance of securing their top-flight status again. He's going through the gears once more. Romelu Lukaku is away from 2 of them, then tries to flick it in towards Naismith in the penalty area. Real tangle around the penalty spot, and then Vlaar has caught Naismith as he was battling for the ball in the penalty area, and Mark Clattenburg was in no doubts whatsoever. He awards Everton the penalty. Romelu Lukaku steps up, left-footed, drives it low, just beyond the fingertips of Shea Given to get Everton back into the game. The big Belgian back with a bang to score his 19th of the season, 9 in his last 11 starts, and a lifeline for Everton at Villa Park. And here they come with Cleverley through the centre into the penalty area. Tom Cleverley drives it high past Tim Howard to restore Aston Villa's 2-goal advantage. After waiting 15 months for a goal, he's now scored in back-to-back games, and Aston Villa have a bit of breathing room again. Everton have a corner 1.5 minutes into added time, and it comes towards Jagielka. High into the air, Gibbons got some defending to do off the crossbar. Jagielka then nods it in off the underside of the bar from just a couple of yards out. Phil Jagielka's 6th of the season has got Everton back into the game again, but do they have enough time? Still 2 minutes of added time to play, and Aston Villa now need to batten down the hatches. They're asking for the final whistle now. Mark Clattenburg takes a look at his watch, and there it is. They got there in the end. Aston Villa pick up 3 valuable points in the relegation battle. Aston Villa 3, Everton 2.
We've got 2 home games here. Even the travelling support what we have away at Southampton will be great. They realise that we're in the mess here, and it's going to take it's going to go right to the wire to get ourselves out of it.
Still to come on the Barclays Premier League highlight show with talkSPORT. Chelsea aim to secure the Barclays Premier League title as they take on Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge. Before that, though, here's the best of the rest of the weekend's action, including victory for relegation-threatened Sunderland.
Shelby carries on into the area. John Joe Shelby crosses. Montero! The little Ecuadorian gives Swansea the lead when it looked as though the attack was all over. His first Swansea City goal, and it looks as though it could be the winner. Taken down by Shelby on the far side. Set back for Ki! Ki Sung-young finishes it. It's job done for Swansea in horrible weather. And Ki Sung-young has wrapped the points up in the second minute of added time. It's Swansea 2, Stoke 0.
Ball forward to Kouyaté, inside the area, down goes Kouyaté, referee says penalty. And Mark Noble, who missed from the spot in West Ham's only penalty so far this season on opening day against Spurs, has a chance to put that right. Here he goes, scores, sends Heaton the wrong way. West Ham finally scored from a penalty this season. Noble from the spot. It's West Ham 1, Burnley 0.
Stood up towards the edge of the box and there's a chance here. Is that a penalty? Yes, it is. Penalty for Sunderland. Jordi Gomez now steps up and he scores. Low down to the goalkeeper's left-hand side. They could find themselves outside the bottom three, but there is an equaliser. Sadio Mane has struck back instantly. And that's a decent ball forward from him too. Danny Graham, goal side of Yoshida. Waits for some support. Here it comes from Defoe. Awful first touch from Defoe. But that is a penalty. It's another penalty and it's a red card. Gomez against Kelvin Davis. Jordi Gomez steps up and scores. Puts it in the opposite corner. First half that gave Sunderland the lead initially. And it's Sunderland 2, Southampton 1.
Welcome back to the Barclays Premier League highlight show with talkSPORT. White Hart Lane now, Tottenham Hotspur still hoping for Champions League football, more likely Europa League football. They were in action against the now deposed Premier League champions Manchester City. Phil Blacker alongside the former Arsenal winger Adrian Clark.
There goes the whistle. Both teams in their traditional colours today. Decent little spell this from Spurs. Levels up the corner kick, counted 2 apiece. Here it comes deep into the danger area. Bentaleb got his head to it, just helped it across the 6-yard area, and then it clipped Kolarov, who was just about able to guide it back to his goalkeeper Joe Hart. He's cleared it away first time for David Silva, and now the danger's at the other end as Silva slips it through for Manchester City to take the lead through Sergio Aguero. Who else? He scores against Tottenham again, under pressure at one end, a length of the field counter. Silva to Aguero, and he fires Manchester City in front at his happy hunting ground of White Hart Lane.
Yeah, he scores every 26 minutes against Spurs. It's taken him 28 to get on the score sheet today. It's a classic counter-attack from City. It started by Joe Hart. He throws the ball out to Silva. His run and pass are absolutely brilliant. And the run from Aguero, Ryan Mason stops, he plays offside, which means Aguero's got all the time in the world to look up and lift it over the goalkeeper and high into the back of the net. It's a beautiful counter-attacking goal from Man City. They don't deserve it, but that is a picture-book goal, it really is.
Harry Kane will give chase to Michelis. William Kane still going into the penalty area. Hart comes out, doesn't commit to the challenge, and between them they've crowded Harry Kane out of it. He can't quite believe he hasn't levelled up the score here. Just took too long.
Brilliant goalkeeping from Joe Hart. Kane does superbly to shrug off Demichelis in the first place. Then I did wonder, should he have slipped in a teammate? He went for goal himself. Great block save from Hart.
Forward by Lampard. Aguero has made the run. Fazio's gone with him. Aguero tries to turn, claims he was being held back by Federico Fazio, but they can't shake him off the ball. Aguero squares it. Fernandinho. Aguero's continued his run. Gets the touch around Lloris, and then just off balance. Can't quite find the finishing touch and squeeze it in. It's just wide in the end. That would have been some goal. That would have been Sergio Aguero's goal all the way.
Yeah, it was brilliant football from City, and especially from Sergio Aguero. He ran across the edge of the 18-yard box, played the 1-2 with Fernandinho. What a return pass from the Brazilian. He gets there before Lloris, but the angle's against him, and on the half volley from only about 5 yards out, he just slices it wide of the near post. But it wasn't really about the finish. He created a wonderfully well, did Aguero, as did Fernandinho.
Here it comes, left-footed in towards the near post. It wasn't a good delivery when they desperately needed it to be. Milner clears it away, which is the last kick of the contest. And Manchester City have won at White Hart Lane again. Manchester City won.
So Manchester City no longer reigning Premier League champions because Chelsea have now secured the title. They did it in style against Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge. John Anderson was watching for us alongside the former Charlton and Aston Villa winger Paul Mortimer.
Well, we had a royal baby yesterday. Are we going to get a coronation at Stamford Bridge today? Big atmosphere inside this ground. Here comes Eden Hazard into the box. Penalty kick. Skill. Kevin Friend points to the spot. Eden Hazard, so often the creator for Chelsea this season, has won them a penalty. A clumsy challenge by James MacArthur as the Belgian darted through. That is a stonewall penalty kick. Eden Hazard, acclaimed as the best player in the Premier League this season, has the chance to get a goal which will put Chelsea so close to claiming the title. He's up against Julian Speroni from 12 yards. Kevin Friend just organising the players to make sure there's no encroachment. He's had a bit of a wait, Hazard.
Too long.
Needs to slot this one. And it's an awful kick which is saved, but Hazard has headed it into the net. Goodness me.
Incredible.
Relief all around the ground. It was one of the worst penalties you'll ever see.
Next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live, Everton versus Sunderland from Goodison Park.
Might still come back from McCarthy here into the penalty. Dances all the way through the Manchester United defence to finish low past David De Gea.
It's spilled by the goalkeeper and it's home already inside a minute. Connor Wickham, well, he saved Sunderland last season with goals to keep them up. Is he going to do it again this time round?
Stoke City versus Tottenham Hotspur from the Britannia Stadium.
Will Adam shoot goals? Charlie Adam drives it into the ground, and Charlie Adam, as he scored the winner of the Britannia Stadium. From behind, Stoke City come to be in the lead in the Britannia Stadium.
Here comes Spurs looking to get back on terms, and they have. Nasser Chadli has run onto a through ball, taken one touch to control and dispatched it beyond Kelvin Davis, and for the second time in the game, Spurs have got themselves level.
Crystal Palace versus Manchester United from Selhurst Park.
Harry had the strength to win the challenge. Pantilimon comes a long way, and it could be 4. It is 4, and Bellatti has got his hat-trick.
Needs Methodus stand over it for Ashley Young to take, right-footed, free header for 4-1. Manchester United are running away with it. Chris Smalling has got in on the act.
Manchester City versus Queen's Park Rangers from the Etihad Stadium.
City are on the counter-attack with Aguero. Aguero slips past one, Charlie's got Navas in acres of space. Navas back to Aguero. Terrific goal. Brilliant goal by Manchester City on the break. Sergio Aguero celebrates.
But Phillips has retrieved possession and tries to turn away from Richardson, and does turn away from Richardson across the face of goal for Charlie Austin, and Charlie Austin has struck that ball right into the back of the net. Goal for Queen's Park Rangers.
Chelsea versus Liverpool from Stamford Bridge.
But Chelsea have played in Hazard. Hazard to put Chelsea in front. A delightful finish from Eden Hazard through the legs of David De Gea. And what a huge goal that is for Chelsea.
Deep crossing towards Sturridge. Liverpool double their money, and Daniel Sturridge finally does get on the score sheet from Jordan Henderson's cross.
Arsenal versus Swansea from the Emirates Stadium.
He's got two players with him, Giroud, but he goes for goal and scores himself. And Arsenal are going second in the Barclays Premier League. Olivier Giroud rounds it off. A wonderful day for Arsenal.
And the ball into the channel finds him. Back across the face of goal! And there it is! Goal number 3 from the unlikeliest of sources for Swansea City. Jack Cork has got the goal.
That's all coming up next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live with talkSPORT. The Barclays Premier League Live.
Oh, would you believe it?
Don't miss a single second of the most exciting competition in world football.
They've done it! They've turned it around!
Bringing you all the goals, the drama, the controversy, the exhilaration, the highs and the lows.
Oh, it's a magnificent goal!
This is Barclays Premier League Live.
A very good evening and welcome to our coverage of Hull City against Arsenal from the KC Stadium. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. Alongside me this evening is the former Charlton, Wimbledon, Southampton, Blackpool, Middlesbrough. Where has this man not played? It's amazing. It's Jason Newell. You're listening to Barclays Premier League Live with talkSPORT. Hull City this evening are the home side once again, and they are so close to retaining their Premier League status. They say survival is all about having your run at the right time. Well, Steve Bruce's Tigers are on a run of back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Winning away at Crystal Palace, then that great win in midweek last week against Liverpool have sent shockwaves all around the bottom seven. Another three-pointer tonight, and the club can start planning for next season in the top flight. Arsenal, they're the visitors to the KC this evening, and they haven't challenged for the title this season again. They have, though, made the Champions League yet again, and they might still win the FA Cup again. The challenge this season is to avoid those Champions League qualification rounds by finishing second or third. That would be a nice change for Gunners fans. And then next season, Arsene Wenger must plot a path to finally toppling Jose Mourinho, a man he's never beaten at anything, not even Scrabble. Let's get to the team news, starting with the home side, Hull City. The good news is that David Myler is back, available after suspension, but only on the subs bench. Tough to get into this Hull City team right now. Still no Mohamed Diame, who's been injured for much of this season, is coming in for West Ham. Even better news, Nikita Jelavic is back, but he is on the subs bench, the top scorer for Hull City this season. So the team in full is Steve Harper in goal, the veteran continuing between the posts ahead of Alan McGregor. Back three of James Chester, Michael Dawson, and I've written James Chester twice. It's McShane is there as well. Never do that. That's a mistake. In the midfield, it's Stephen Quinn, Tom Huddleston and Jake Livermore, Robbie Brady and Ahmed El Mohammadi on the wings with Sonny Aluko and Dame Ndoye up front. McGregor, Rosinia, Bruce, Myler and Jelavic we've mentioned on the bench. Hernandez and Robertson also on there as well. A man who's playing at left back for much of this season. Struggled with injury, as everyone seems to have for Hull City this campaign. For Arsenal, no new injuries, would you believe, for Arsene Wenger's team. Matthew Debuchy still being cared for very delicately, coming back from a long-term injury, so he's not in the matchday squad this evening, though I think he's likely to start at right back going towards the FA Cup final. Hector Bellerin will start at right back this evening. Nacho Monreal on the left. It's Mertesacker Koscielny at the heart of that Arsenal defence, with David Ospina in goal. Wojciech Szczesny still on the subs bench. Santi Cazorla, Aaron Ramsey, Francis Coquelin in midfield, Alexis Sanchez, Mesut Ozil, Olivier Giroud. A front three that's getting a bit set in stone for Arsene Wenger. Really impressive they've been in recent weeks, and indeed the whole of 2015. Arsenal have been spectacular this calendar year. The bench is Szczesny, Gibbs, Gabriel, the central defender, Rosicki, Wilshere back from injury, Theo Walcott, another man recovering from a long-term injury, Matthew Flamini as well. Still no Arteta, no Diaby. Oxlade-Chamberlain's been in training this week, but is not available for the squad. How are you, mate? All right, you've written all the names down properly, right? You've not done the same as me and put James Chester all over the field.
No, I've done it right. I've done it correctly.
I think I'm thinking more about James Chester than even his girlfriend does. I don't know why I've done it. It's very odd. But anyway, Hull City this evening, they are so close to survival. You've got to put runs together at some point during the season. Better to do it towards the end than towards the front of the campaign. And you look at the teams around them, they're the ones playing football, they're the ones winning games, they're the ones that are confident. 3 points tonight moves them to 37. That's safety.
It is. You look at it, it's so tight, and what it does as well, it gets them sort of not having to look over their shoulder as much and then having to see and wait for other teams to start doing what they need to do. They're going to concentrate on themselves. If they get the 3 points, great. And then what it does, it puts Newcastle into even more pressure as well going into the weekend. So it's a great opportunity because they're going into it in a fine run of form against the clean sheet against Crystal Palace, and then a clean sheet last week against Liverpool. So in terms of being hard to beat, it's always a plus. When you don't concede, you always give yourself an opportunity to win games, and they're probably going to try and do the same again today.
Steve Bruce, the manager manager has said this week there's been 2 games in a row, Palace and Liverpool, those 2 victories, where his players have played at their maximum, something he can't quite understand, he told the club's website, but if he could bottle it, he would. How have they managed to play as well as they have in the last 2 games, yet struggled all campaign?
I think it's sometimes when the realism hits in terms of, right, we're in a fight now, we need to start upping and putting more into what we've been doing. Maybe that they have been playing at, say, like a 99% through the course of the season, and that wasn't enough. So now they've had to say that extra bit, they probably had to sit down as a group and without any sort of first team staff around and thought, listen, guys, we need to get ourselves together because we don't want to go through that relegation thought, or come last day of the season we're going to need a win to stay in the league. So they've probably got themselves together as a group and thought, right, we need to actually go and give ourselves a great opportunity to stay in this league.
Arsene Wenger said this week, the Arsenal manager, and he's been saying for the last few weeks really, that without the injuries they had at the start of the campaign, of which there were many, we've got to say, they would have challenged for the title as won by Chelsea at the weekend. Is that just another excuse from Arsene Wenger? Do we need Arsene Wenger and Arsenal to actually realistically challenge next season, or has there been progress, as he keeps telling us?
I think there's truth in it regarding the injuries, but I think you've got to look at the bigger picture as well. It's about the strength in depth. Everyone's been talking about from the start of the season what Arsenal needed in terms of another centre forward, another midfielder, another centre back, and another goal. So that's the spine of your team. And it's one of those, if you're getting injuries in key areas but you've got good backup, then injuries happen, we know that, but it's how you deal with it. And they didn't deal with it well enough, but now that they're all back, we've just said in the terms of the lineup they've started, it's sort of set in stone over the last few weeks, and momentum's been building since the turn of the year. And you look at it and think, well, if they didn't have those injuries and they did have a good squad in strength and depth, they probably would be up there challenging.
About these 2 teams a bit later in the programme, we'll be asking Jason Yule who he thinks should be leaving Arsenal this summer, not just who they will need, because Arsene Wenger has told us this week the Gunners have to sell before they can buy this summer. But now we're going to focus on the team that, frankly, the Gunners couldn't get anywhere near this season. Chelsea are champions of the Barclays Premier League 14-15. The first time they've won the Barclays Premier League. 10, they've done it with 3 games to spare.
Here comes Eden Hazard into the box. Penalty kick. Kevin Friend points to the spot, and it's an awful kick which is saved, but Hazard has headed it into the net. Goodness me. Incredible. Chelsea fans are whistling and imploring Kevin Friend to blow his whistle, which he does. Chelsea are the champions of England. Blue is the colour this season once again. Chelsea have got their hands back on the trophy, and you'd have to say they deserve it.
We've been different class this year. To do it is a tough game today. We managed to get over the line and we're champions, what we wanted.
I'm so happy. All season was good. We deserve to be champion. And today we can celebrate the title.
Yeah, we knew we had a difficult game. I think we had a lot of occasions, but always just not always next to the post. And yeah, it was a difficult game. But okay, finally we won, so we're very happy to do it here in front of our fans.
I don't compare. Everyone is different. The moments, the generations, the players, everything is different. The only thing that is not different is the shirt. Chelsea is champion again.
Excellent work by talkSPORT. Ian Abrahams, the Moose, yesterday speaking to all the important names at Stamford Bridge. The manager, Jose Mourinho, also John Terry, Eden Hazard and Thibaut Courtois as well. Plenty has been said about the fact that they've been a bit dull to watch since losing against Bradford in the FA Cup. Jason Yule, worthy champions, certainly. They also, incidentally, have now won more Barclays Premier League titles than Arsenal, which I'm sure will be a thumb in the eye of Arsene Wenger. But they've won it a bit easy, haven't they? I mean, this is not a vintage Premier League season for the elite teams, and the other teams should take a lot of responsibility for the fact that Chelsea have been able to win it so easily.
They should do, and you look at it in terms of Manchester City as being the holders, and they didn't get a fight at all.
No.
If someone that is going after your crown, you want to go and put the best and everything into wanting to retain it, and they've done it with a whimper, really. They haven't done it with any fight, no consistency. When Toure went to the African Cup of Nations, all of a sudden it was all downhill because he's the man that gets them ticking. They've spent money on a squad. They've got world-class players, and they should have been able to have more of a fight than what they did. In terms of Arsenal, we've discussed about the inconsistency that they had at the start of the season. Manchester United was always going to be that transitional period. We always knew that. If it went really well for them, everyone would be, oh, it's the Van Gaal effect, but it hasn't. But Chelsea, they haven't been great throughout the whole of this campaign, but they didn't have to because everyone else didn't put up a good enough fight.
However, come the end of this season, they will have spent more days at the top of the table in one season than any other title winners. At the moment, Chelsea from 05-06 and Manchester United from 93-94 are above them, but this is day 254 of this season. They have been at the top. Come the end of this campaign, they'll be record holders because no one can catch them. I don't know, I feel like sometimes I'm being too harsh on Chelsea, but I mean, the start of the season they were terrific, but they could easily have won this league 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. But even yesterday against Crystal Palace at home with the lead, Zuma comes on, another defender comes on, they don't go forward, 9 at the back, let's get it done. I mean, I don't know, Chelsea fans I'm sure don't care, but I do.
Of course, because it's one of when you see people winning league titles, you want to see them win it emphatically, you want to see them win it well, you want to see them doing it with the right football and the right mentality, and that hasn't been this year with Chelsea. What Mourinho's come in and done is, look, we're winning this league, and it does. I don't care how we win it, but we're going to win it. And part of that is professionalism as well. Them going out and not going guns blazing how you would have seen them in the past and getting done on the counter-attack and leaving themselves exposed. Because we know that Cahill and John Terry are very good defenders, but they're not the quickest. So you've got to be able to have to play to their strengths as well by having that security and Matic in there and just protecting them a little bit more, because you see the fullbacks go bombing on. But for them, they've won it. That's what that matters. And they said they haven't been tested. They've been at the top, and it's been a case of, right, everyone come and catch us because we're top of the league and we want to get that title.
Manchester City, deposed champions now, still the reigning champions for another 3 weeks officially, until Chelsea are given the Barclays Premier League title on the final day of the campaign. They are 13 points adrift of Chelsea. Pathetic, really, for reigning champions to be that far behind. Let's hear from Manuel Pellegrini, who spoke with talkSPORT after City's victory at Spurs. An exciting game of football. Pellegrini's told us it's great to win football matches, but he also wants to see that nice football.
It's very important because we have 3 points more, because we are in a special championship with Arsenal, with Manchester United, who finish in second and in third or in fourth place. I think that we are 3 very important points against a very difficult team that beat Chelsea here for 5 goals. I think that we play well, that both teams play well. I think that was an amusement game for the fans, for both fans. It's normal because I think that both managers think in the same way how you must win playing football.
Maybe a bit of a dig there at Jose Mourinho, speaking about style of football being important. But really, it's Mourinho's year, it's Mourinho's season, it's Mourinho's Premier League. This year has been all about him almost completely. And just briefly, he seems to do it without ever changing tactics. Like, nothing has really changed from the team of, 04-05. John Terry in the heart of a 4-man defence. 3 men in the middle, 1 defensive-minded, Makelele to Matic, a clear progression. Big man up front, Drogba to becomes Costa. It's the same team. Nothing has changed. Arjen Robben was the player then, Eden Hazard is the player now. Why can't anyone look at the blueprint and go, you know what he's going to do, and then stop him?
And that's the thing, is that you look at where the teams that have been in and around them have changed and tried this and tried that. But then you look at it in terms of, he didn't need a plan B because his plan A worked really well. When things don't go their way, he's got the changes to make an effect. That's what you want substitutions to do. We mentioned the game at Leicester the other week, on last week Wednesday. There wasn't that strength in depth, and we looked at it the first half, losing 1-0, but all he did was just tinker his formation a little bit in terms of personnel. It made a massive difference. But then you look at Manchester City, Pellegrini all year has been seen as they don't have a plan B. What they've been doing is their plan A. They've been trying it, hasn't been working, doesn't know what to do, and that's been their fault this year, and more so in the Champions League where they got exposed for that.
That's the story at the top of the table. Story at the bottom, very, very interesting, and it's all getting a bit EastEnders at the moment in the Barclays Premier League. It's all getting like a soap opera. Actually, where else but at Newcastle United? I'm sure you heard John Carver speaking this weekend, criticising defender Mike Williamson for what he thinks was intentionally getting sent off against Leicester City in the Magpies' latest embarrassing defeat. 8 in a row now they've lost. Well, today the club have confirmed that John Carver will remain boss for the final 3 games of this season. Speaking earlier, John Carver said he won't be walking away from St James's Park.
I can have the desire to want it, but it's whether people want me. And I'm quite an honest and straightforward lad, and if people say time's up, then I have to get on with it. But I'm not going to walk away from it. I'm not walking away from this situation, because I know for a fact that I think we had about 4,000 fans there, and if any one of them had my position and my situation, they'd do exactly the same as me, and they would fight.
They would certainly fight, but sometimes there's a real difference between fighting and being qualified. I mean, I would fight if I was a pilot. I would be so keen to make sure I kept that plane in the sky, but I don't have the requisite skills to make sure it doesn't. And that's kind of the situation that John Carver finds himself in. He's been pushed into a job that he feels like he wants, but he's not a manager. The players don't seem to respect him. The club's in utter free-fall. Reports today they approached Steve McClaren, the Derby manager, who's been strongly rumoured to be taking over in the summer. Derby's season finished yesterday in a pitiful 8th position, considering they were top of the league in February in the Championship. Apparently he said no, which has led to John Carver being confirmed as boss for the end of this season. I mean, they've got games that are winnable, West Brom, QPR, West Ham, but after 8 straight defeats, you could come up against a team of 11-year-olds and you'd probably lose.
That's the thing. I think with John Carver, I think that his heart ruled his head on this one by... When Alan Pardew left, maybe Alan Pardew gave the recommendation of this could be the guy, and Mike Ashley's gone, OK, right, he's the guy. But I
Alan Pardew's final insult.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's probably looking back thinking, oh, well, look what's happened. But as I say, I think definitely John Carver's heart has ruled his head there, because he said we know that he's got so much passion for the club, and I think he has been showing too much of that over the last few weeks in terms of the weekend, his comments about Mike Williams' red card, the things that he has said to the fans and having meeting with the fans and so on and so on. He's gone in at a very bad time, and when you talk about the qualifying of him, you see he's more of a number 2. He doesn't know how to manage a change room. He doesn't seem to be coming across as a good man manager by the way that he's publicly humiliated Mike Williamson. OK, give the dressing down in the change room, keep it there, stays out of the public eye, but to come in front of the cameras and say what was being said in the change room is not a good look. But you look and think, well, it's only one win they need, but as you said, on the back of 8 defeats, it's where you're going to get it from. They haven't got a squad because they've got injuries, they've got suspensions. They're now going to be going into the depths of the younger players and asking them now to try and do a job in probably the worst position that they can find themselves as young players coming in, because they're going to have to be coming in to be ready to win a football match. Is going to be even harder.
Did you wonder whether Big Sam, former Newcastle manager Sam Allardyce, another one who's given a bad time at Newcastle on the final day of the season with West Ham, may be the man to send Newcastle down? The story is almost written. Can John Carver and Newcastle prevent that from happening? It's going to be a real tough final 3 games for the Magpies. Much more coming up this evening, including a game of football, you might have noticed. Hull City against Arsenal is Monday Night Football this week. 15 minutes away from kick-off. This is talkSPORT's coverage of the Barclays Premier League Live.
Next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live, Everton versus Sunderland from Goodison Park.
Still come back from McCarthy here into the penalty area. McCarthy dances all the way through the Manchester United defence to finish low past David De Gea.
It's spilled by the goalkeeper, and it's home already inside a minute. Connor Wickham. Well, he saved Sunderland last season with goals to keep them up. Is he going to do it again this time round?
Stoke City versus Tottenham Hotspur from the Britannia Stadium.
Will Adam shoot goals? Charlie Adam drives it into the ground, and Charlie Adam, as he scored the winner of the Britannia Stadium. From behind, Stoke City come to be in the lead in the Britannia Stadium.
Here comes Spurs looking to get back on terms, and they have. Nasser Chadli has run onto a through ball, taken one touch to control and dispatched it beyond Kelvin Davis, and for the second time in the game, Spurs have got themselves level.
Crystal Palace versus Manchester United from Selhurst Park.
Harry had the strength to win the challenge. Pantilimon comes a long way, and it could be 4. It is 4, and Belatti has got his hat-trick.
Needs Methodus stand over it for Ashley Young to take right-footed. Free header for 4-1. Manchester United are running away with it. Chris Smalling has got in on the act.
Manchester City versus Queen's Park Rangers from the Etihad Stadium.
City are on the counter-attack with Aguero. Aguero slips past one challenge. He's got Navas in acres of space. Navas back to Aguero. Terrific goal. Brilliant goal by Manchester City on the break. Sergio Aguero celebrating.
points.
But Phillips has retrieved possession and tries to turn away from Richardson, and does turn away from Richardson across the face of goal for Charlie Austin, and Charlie Austin has struck that ball right into the back of the net. Goal for Queen's Park Rangers.
Chelsea versus Liverpool from Stamford Bridge.
But Chelsea have played in Hazard. Hazard to put Chelsea in front. A delightful finish from Eden Hazard through the legs of David De Gea. And what a huge goal that is for Chelsea.
Deep crossing towards Sturridge. Liverpool double their money, and Daniel Sturridge finally does get on the score sheet from Jordan Henderson's cross.
Arsenal versus Swansea from the Emirates Stadium.
He's got two players with him, Giroud, but he goes for goal and scores himself. And Arsenal are going second in the Barclays Premier League. Olivier Giroud rounds it off. A wonderful day for Arsenal.
Oliveira goes one way, and the ball into the channel finds him. Back across the face of goal! And there it is, goal number 3 from the unlikeliest of sources for Swansea City. Jack Cork has got the goal.
That's all coming up next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live with talkSPORT.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football, Barclays Premier League Live with talkSPORT. Hull City against Arsenal from the KC Stadium. Let's talk about Hull City. The Tigers, oh so close to Premier League salvation. 34 points, a win tonight moves them to 37. That would be 14th in the table. Let's hear from Steve Bruce, whose team have won 2 in a row. He's the of Hull. There is still plenty of work to do.
A lot of people a week ago were writing us off, but so we give ourselves a chance. That's all we've done, because we've still got 4 games to play, and I still think we need a couple of results, because other teams last week, teams at the bottom, got a result. So it's all still to play for, and exciting, I suppose, if you're watching it from afar. And if you're involved in it, then, you know, you have to come out playing and come out fighting and come out and make sure you get a couple of results. And we've done that over the last week, which has helped.
El Mohammadi crosses, it's won by Dawson! And Hull City have taken the lead at the KC Stadium. Will they record back-to-back wins?
When we've needed to perform, we haven't had a fear. We've performed, and it's very difficult sometimes when you're up against it, whether you're at the top or you're at the bottom. It's sometimes difficult to perform at your best, and we've performed twice, where every one of them who's played has performed to the maximum. Right at the right time, we've found a bit of form, which has been terrific. Where it's come from? I'd love to bottle it and put it on the shelf and say that's been the answer, but it's not as easy as that.
The always enjoyable Steve Bruce, manager of Hull City. Briefly, Jason, you're alongside me. Massive game tonight for Hull City, but on Saturday they've got Burnley at home. Burnley would be down should they lose that game against the Tigers at the weekend, and if they get that 3 points, 37 is probably enough.
No, it can be, and so just going from the weekend's results is sometimes when you have that game on the Monday after seeing the results previously, it gives you that little bit more pressure, but there isn't that much on them today, because they know that the fact of they're playing a very good Arsenal side, which they know that they can win. And then it's right, get this out of the way. Then we look at Burnley at the weekend. Burnley at the weekend will be classed as that is their must-win game to keep them in the league. If they got a point here tonight, great, gets them a little step closer to staying up in the Premier League. But it's going to be the Burnley game, which is going to be all eyes on the difference of Hull staying in the league or not.
Game you can hear on talksport.com coming up this weekend. Also, you'll be able to hear Arsenal get on against Manchester United. That game's coming up in a couple of weeks' time. This weekend, the Gunners have got a big game next Monday, that is, against Swansea, because they want to finish second this season. They're done with finishing fourth and going through qualification rounds and starting the season early, and Arsene Wenger's got yet another excuse at the end of the campaign as to why they've not challenged. No excuses if they finish second. That means they'll go straight into the Champions League proper. Let's hear from Arsene Wenger, the manager of Arsenal, who's got an excuse for us about why they didn't challenge for the title this season. He says it would have been closer at the top without all the injuries they had at the start of this season.
I said many times that we had big injuries at the start of the season after the World Cup, and that we got only the squad together. Even we lost players like Wilshere, in November and after again. So I think we were not all together. We had as well to find, took us some time maybe to find a good balance in the team, and we dropped some points because of that. But when you look at games like Stoke away, that was a big disappointment for us is that we had a very young defence on the day, and the fact that we missed players was certainly detrimental to our results.
He's got 2 players with him, Giroud, but he goes for goal and scores himself. Olivier Giroud rounded off a wonderful day for Arsenal.
I feel personally that we have made progress, so I look at it in a positive way, because what you want from a team is to show during the season to grow together and become better. We faced a big challenge because Chelsea in front of us didn't drop their level, and they were more consistent from the start to the end, and that's why we didn't catch them back. But overall, I think we feel we have made progress.
No, you haven't. Arsene Wenger, the Arsenal manager, saying they've made progress this season. Frankly, they haven't. They might finish second in a fairly weak Premier League. But also, it just annoys me that they have had injuries. They did lose Olivier Giroud, but they brought in Danny Welbeck, who's a Premier League striker. They might lose Jack Wilshere, but they bring back Aaron Ramsey. Every time someone goes, they lose Theo Walcott. Oh, Alexis Sanchez, is he all right for you? It's not like they're bringing Carlton Cole off the bench. You know what I mean?
That's we mentioned it about the strength in depth, is that they have got good quality players, but he said you still need that world-class strength in depth. But the injury factor, you know you're going to get injuries for the course of the season, and it's how you deal with it. They didn't deal with it very well, but they still had replacements. Were they going to be good enough to what was needed? They weren't at the time. But as you said, you talk about Wilshere, you know he's going to be injured for some point of the year. Walcott, you know he's going to get injured for some point of the year. That's 2 main players. You're going to get your Flamini. Is he going to play the majority of the games of the season? No. So they're players in key areas. And as you said, Giroud was out, but you had Welbeck. But then Welbeck's someone who's had a course of injuries over his time at Man United as well. So they're never really having players that you're looking saying, right, who's going to play every game for them?
Got a plan for a 25-game season for a lot of these players, and it just doesn't seem to. Anyway, we'll talk more about Arsenal. We'll moan more about Arsenal, I'm sure, as the evening and indeed this season goes on. Hull City, the host this evening, they're hoping a season that started in European football does not end in relegation. 3 points tonight, and they are all but safe. The Gunners, they're going to win the FA Cup, it seems, potentially against Aston Villa, but they're hoping for a better finish in the league table. They can move up to second tonight. Big game. Hull City against Arsenal, the KC Stadium. 5 minutes away from kick-off. You're listening to Barclays Premier League Live with talkSPORT.
One planet, one game, one football. The all-new One Football app is available right now for iOS, Android and Windows phones. With all the latest football news, live scores, results, highlights and more from the Premier League, Champions League and hundreds of international competitions. Download the One Football app from your app store today to follow all the Premier League matches with live text commentary and vote for your man of the match. One Football, the best app for football fans.
Well, Everton coming forward here. It's 3. Kevin Morales off the bench to finish Manchester United off.
This is Barclays Premier League Live. Exclusive global Premier League radio commentary and post-match analysis.
Found his way to Walters, back to Arnautovic. Tries a turn, it's going to come back for Adam. Oh, absolute rocket into the top corner. Stoke deservedly level.
Barclays Premier League Live. All the biggest games every Premier League weekend.
It's going to be in, surely. It's turned in. Leicester have the lead. Just a minute after Burnley miss a penalty. Leicester go up the other end and put the ball into the back of the net.
This is Barclays Premier League Live. Never miss a kick of the Barclays Premier League. All weekend, every weekend.
Here's Kolarov, who thought his goal had won the game. It's a good delivery, and it's turned in by Fernandinho. They were 2-0 up, they were pegged back to 2-2, and Fernandinho, with his 3rd goal of the season, makes it Manchester City 3, Aston Villa 2.
Exclusively live Barclays Premier League action throughout the season. This is Barclays Premier League Live.
Oliveira goes one way, and the ball into the channel finds him. Back across the face of goal! And there it is! Goal number 3 from the unlikeliest of sources for Swansea City, Jack Cork.
This is Barclays Premier League Live. Exclusive global Premier League radio commentary and post-match analysis.
Ramirez plays it in Doy to seal it, and he does, and it's Hull City who will take all 3 points on an afternoon where they needed to get the job done.
Barclays Premier League Live. Exclusive worldwide coverage and full match commentary of the Barclays Premier League.
Here comes Spurs looking to get back on terms, and they have. for the second time in the game. Spurs have got themselves level.
Talk Sport, live on TuneIn. This is Real Radio.
Back in the net!
Hear every Barclays Premier League match live, including next weekend's match between Chelsea and Liverpool.
Hazard to put Chelsea in. Delightful finish from Eden Hazard.
Every kick, every goal from the home of football on TuneIn in association with talkSPORT.com, official global audio partner of the English Premier League.
Welcome to our coverage of Hull City against Arsenal from the KC Stadium. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. Alongside me this evening is the former Charlton, Wimbledon, Southampton, Blackpool striker. It's Jason Newell. You're listening to Barclays Premier League Live with talkSPORT. We are underway at the KC Stadium. Hull City surely just a few short points away from safety in the Barclays Premier League this season. 2 straight victories have put them right in the mix to stay in the Premier League next campaign. 3 in a row for the first time in the Premier League in just short of 7 years, and they would surely be over the line this campaign. Tottenham are the team that maybe Arsenal are thinking about today, not because they're in a Champions League race with them, but I'm sure Arsenal fans know we are a point away from this being St Totteringham's Day, the day where it's mathematically impossible for despised rival Spurs to finish above the Gunners in the table. That's not happened since way back in 1995. So something to celebrate, at least for Arsenal this evening. They could move back to second in the Barclays Premier League as well. Hull City are kicking from right to left as we look in this match in the first half at the KC Stadium, wearing their home strip of amber and black vertical stripes with black shorts and amber socks. Arsenal from left to right as we look, wearing red shirts with white sleeves, white shorts and white socks. They have the ball over the halfway line now with Aaron Ramsey. Team news for you, starting with the home side Hull City. Steve Harper is in goal. Back 3, Paul McShane, Michael Dawson and James Chester. Midfield 3, Huddleston and Jake Livermore. Robbie Brady on the left side of midfield. Ahmed El Mohammadi on the right, with Sonny Aluko supporting Dame and Doy up front. We'll come back to that shortly as Arsenal are coming forward here. Left hand side cross by Monreal is won by Ramsey, who then just tried to poke the ball round the corner into the net and ends up poking the ball straight out of play. The bench for Hull City then, McGregor the goalkeeper, Rosinia Bruce, David Myler back from suspension, Abel Hernandez, top scorer Nikita Jelavic also back to fitness, enough to be on the subs bench that is, and the fullback Andrew Robertson. For Arsenal, David Ospina is in goal. Back 4 from right to left, Hector Bellerin, Per Mertesacker, Laurent Koscielny and Nacho Monreal. Francis Coquelin holds in midfield with Santi Cazorla and Aaron Ramsey alongside him. Alexis Sanchez, Mesut Ozil, Olivier Giroud complete the starting 11. The bench is Chesney, Gibbs, Gabriel Paulista, Thomas Rositzky, Jack Wilshere, Theo Walcott and Matthew Flamini. Those are your starting lineups from the subs benches for this game this evening, Monday Night Football, Hull City against Arsenal. Time for a quick hello to Jason Newell. And Jason, at the moment it's Arsenal dominating possession.
Yeah, they did up until the first, from kick-off for the first minute and 45 seconds. Arsenal kept the ball, with Hull getting everyone back behind the ball, letting Arsenal keep it, keeping the ball in front. But when they actually did have that first bit of possession, they actually ended up getting in the wide area to Monreal, cross going into Ramsey. So you can sort of see the game plan from Hull is in terms of just allowing Arsenal possession of the ball and try and probably get them on the counter-attack.
We'll be back here there on the halfway line from Mesut Ozil, finds Alexis Sanchez, but a great sliding tackle by Jake Livermore, finds a pass towards Ndoye. Ndoye judged to be offside. A very high line from Arsenal, which Ndoye was looking to capitalise on. In the end, the assistance flag on the far side has gone up. Tackle by Livermore on Sanchez, right in front of referee Lee Mason, wearing all black this evening. It's certainly a strong one.
I mean, it's said just there in terms of what Hull are looking to do on the counter attack. Literally, as Arsenal were going through central areas, it was a very strange one in terms of how high Koscielny and Mertesacker were, because we know they're not blessed with the greatest of pace as a pair, but it was a very high line once they were in position. I think that will be the way that you can see Hull getting opportunities on those quick transitions into counter-attacking.
You just heard Jason slightly pause there because Paul McShane, playing on the left side of a defensive 3 for Hull City, was so nearly caught by a challenge from Hector Bellerin, which would have seen Bellerin almost through on goal. In the end, McShane did find a pass out of defence and then Hull City went over the top, and it's gone back to Arsenal has the football. They've worked it across their defence, the left-hand side of the field. Koscielny will now work it right to Mertesacker. The Gunners' defence has been really good in 2015. 14 games this calendar year, just 9 goals conceded. Very, very impressive calendar year for the Gunners, but of course so many points behind Arsenal, behind Chelsea, never really able to make a title race of it. Here's Aaron Ramsey. Back to form and fitness, into the feet of Olivier Giroud, over the halfway line, back to Cazorla, across the line of halfway to Mesut Ozil, back to Coquelin, the centre circle, fires a ball somewhere, diagonally, about 40 yards, straight out of play, and that's a goal kick to Hull City. Certainly I don't want to imagine that Francis Coquelin's entire career is summed up by that moment, but that kind of thing does suggest why he is a good backup for someone who plays in that position and not the man who should start there next season.
No, I don't think that. I mean, he is a very good player, and I think it's one of the reasons why Arsenal brought him in as a young player, to get him developed. They sort of saw the potential in him. But as a backup as he's been, once he came back from loan at Charlton, and when he came back at a good time where he was playing games at Charlton at a competitive level of the Championship, and
bouncing ball over the top towards Ndoye here is headed away by a spinner, the Arsenal goalkeeper, on the edge of his own penalty area, and the Gunners will work their way forward again.
Yeah, just saying about Coquelin, he said he's come in and made a good impact and a good impression in the group, but he wouldn't be your number 1 and number 2 for that role in their starting lineup for next season.
High ball by Aaron Ramsey, searching for Mesut Ozil. Michael Dawson is able just to watch the run of the German international and see the ball bounce over his head and through to the goalkeeper Steve Harper, who's kept 2 consecutive clean sheets for the Tigers, which is so important when it comes to winning games, as they have back-to-back against Palace and Liverpool. And he made some good stops, didn't he, at the game against Liverpool last week? Yeah, he did. I said it's one of them ones where with goalkeepers it's always a tough decision when it comes to making them changes, because the goalkeeper's position is, when a mistake's happened, it's always highlighted and made out in terms of it's a bad error of judgment or whatever it may be. But to change a goalkeeper at this stage of the season is a big call from Steve Bruce. But you look at the decision now, is he knows he's bringing in a good replacement. It's not someone that the fans or the back 4 or back 3 as it is might not feel comfortable in, but it's the experience in Steve Harper, who's been in and around this sort of situation before. So when you sometimes say back up, I think he's still a very good number 1. 20 years at Newcastle United, only 157 games played in that time. You wonder how he may feel if he is a contributory factor to Newcastle being relegated. They would go above the Magpies with victory this evening, would Hull City. They've got a free kick here of the Tigers, about 5 yards over the halfway line, right-hand side. Huddleston won it and will knock it forward. A spinner's come a long way. They've got a very weak punch on the ball. An Arsenal player, I think that's Coquelin, has stayed down. Might have taken a bit of a hit in the side of the head, which is why the referee has correctly stopped the play. But that was flappy from a spinner.
Yeah, I don't think he actually needs to come that far out. You want your defenders to go and deal with it.
Right on the edge of the area.
Exactly that. And he's coming through bodies and he doesn't even really get... No, he doesn't even get a punch. It's actually Coquelin that heads it. So he's got a spinner, Dawson, Chester, Coquelin all coming in for the ball there. And it's actually Coquelin that gets the helmet. So sometimes you think, just let your defenders go and deal with it. You just go and stay in your area and wait for the next one.
Arsene Wenger has said of David Ospina that he is the number 1 and doesn't need to replace him during the summer. He also is statistically the best goalkeeper in the Premier League this season. Brilliant form he's been on. They haven't conceded many goals. He's first in the amounts of goals conceded per game. He's first in the amount of clean sheets per game. First in the amount of shots saved. So he comes top of a lot of statistics. What do you made of him?
I think he's come in and done a really good job. I think when he did come in, it was the international that he was, but he was unheard of. There wasn't any sort of talk of the next goalkeeper that there's a lot of clubs interested in, or the scouts of all clubs are reporting on. He's the one to look at, but he's come in and done a really good job, and he's been a good replacement for Szczesny.
Impressive with Colombia during the World Cup, as we are back underway here with Hull City getting possession back from Arsenal and attacking down the right-hand side. Quinn down the channel is challenged really well by Cazorla. He was almost found there by El Mohammadi down that right-hand side. In the end, Arsenal win possession back and clear it long. One back by the Tigers. Brady heads into Sonny Aluko, the live wire forward. Back to McShane. On the left-hand side is Brady. Cuts inside Bellerin, but a good challenge by Ramsey. Will break for the former Spurs man, Tom Huddleston. His pass right towards Livermore. Another former Spurs man is Paul. Into Sanchez, who finds Olivier Giroud on the halfway line. Fouled by Michael Dawson. You guessed it, another former Spurs man. And it's a free kick to Arsenal in the centre circle. How much do you think three men who spent a lot of time at White Hart Lane will still bear a grudge against this Arsenal team? We mentioned at the top of the programme it is potentially that most joyous of days for Arsenal fans, and Totteringham's Day potentially today.
No, of course, I think you're always going to have that sort of feeling against your old rivals. I think whenever you play against that team, once you move on, it's always going to be the same, because that's what they've been used to for such a long time.
Cazorla on the halfway line is really skillful there to get away from Ndor, and he advances around 11 yards into the opposition half and goes right to Ramsey. Further right now to Bellerin, who approaches the penalty area, crosses into the penalty area, and it just clips the heel of Tom Huddleston running back towards his own goal. And luckily for Hull City and Big Tom, it goes straight into the hands of Steve Harper.
It's the first time we've seen Bellerin get forward for it, and as the cross is pulled back, he's sort of trying to sort of flick it. I think he's trying to more control it, if anything, just to the outside of his foot, and it's actually just deflected and gone into the hands of Harper, luckily.
Can look a bit cumbersome, or not lazy, but slow maybe, Huddleston sometimes. He looked like the reaction time there was a little bit too slow.
Yeah, I mean, he should have done better with the ball coming into him. I think his body positioning wasn't great. I said it could have been a lot worse than it actually happened.
Ball over the top down the left channel by Sanchez for Arsenal, finds Ozil by the left corner flag. Into Ramsey, tries that first-time volley pass, which he's synonymous with, towards a teammate close by. It's intercepted, but the Gunners have it again on the left-hand side. It is Ramsey who's come deep, found by Nacho Monreal, left to Ozil, further back to Ramsey, into Cazorla, opens the body up and shoots, and it's really blocked superbly well by the hard-working Quinn in the Hull City midfield. Up towards Aluko, Mertesacker beats him to the ball. It breaks to Santi Cazorla on the edge of the area, right-hand side. Pass is blocked by Quinn, breaks to Bellerin, back to Santi Cazorla again, into the feet of Olivier Giroud, tries to turn Dawson. Good challenge, Dawson, thrashed away by Tom Huddleston towards the halfway line, where Laurent Koscielny will control on the chest and knock it back to the goalkeeper, David Ospina. You can tweet us this evening, as ever, at talkSPORT Live. Warren B is listening in Little Rock, Arkansas. Frank Zulian listening in Washington, D.C. Liam Dempsey is with us in Philadelphia. Plenty of tweets coming in at talkSPORT Live. Let us know where in the world that you're listening. The Fed's also with us today. The Fed says they won't be able to watch the game today, travelling from Chicago to New York, but I've got at talkSPORT Live. Come on, you Gunners, says the Feds. Keep those tweets coming in to at talkSPORT Live, where in the world you're listening, and indeed what you think of the current state of the Barclays Premier League. Hull City searching for survival. The Gunners hoping to move to second in the table. Hull City have possession here on the right-hand side. 12 minutes gone, 0-0 so far. El Mohammadi up against Monreal, jinking forward and getting away from Monreal too. Brilliant stuff. Great cross too. But it goes into the hands of David Ospina just before Hull City's strike pairing could get anywhere near that. But El Mohammadi just got such a lovely turn of pace, and that's a great delivery as well.
It is, yeah. I mean, he's one of those sort of reliable players for Steve Bruce. He had him at Sunderland as well. Brought him here to Hull. And he's one of them ones, you're going to get qualities. People look at Antonio Valencia at Manchester United, who plays in that same role, but his quality isn't always great. It's always very unpredictable, but I think with El Mohammadi, you always know what you're going to get from him.
Arsenal coming forward down the left channel with Alexis Sanchez. 1-2 with Ozil. Sanchez! Great save by Harper and away by Dawson, who Giroud looked to steal. First time we've seen Alexis Sanchez get forward in this game. A lovely 1-2, a shuffle, a shot, and a good stop.
Yeah, that's typical Arsenal there. And Sanchez, as soon as he cuts inside on that from the left-hand side, a little give and go with Ozil onto his right foot, and it's a great strike, but then no one reacting for Arsenal. I think that's where Giroud should be on his toes looking for those little tap-ins.
From the throw, Ozil finds Sanchez. Sanchez crosses towards Olivier Giroud. It's a challenge by McShane. The ricochets back off Olivier Giroud, and that will be a goal kick to Hull City. And when Arsene Wenger says things like, we were a growing project, we're a team that isn't quite ready to challenge for the Barclays Premier League title. Alexis Sanchez, 14 goals in now 30 Barclays Premier League starts this season. He's scored in every competition as well, the Cups, the Champions League, the FA Cup and the League Cup. I mean, with a player like that, who's just as good as Eden Hazard, who's just won the PFA Player of the Year and the League, where's the excuse? I don't understand it.
That's what I mean. I don't know why he's making excuse or finding his excuses. Is that he said you've gone and bought a player in for over 30+ million, and he's come in and everyone's giving him the plaudits he deserves. He's very good player. But to say that we haven't got, or we're not equipped or ready to win the league, you're paying that money for that type of player for that reason. And that's the sort of player that you probably base your team around, to say, like, right, we're going to get the best out of him by getting these players in the team so we can go and achieve something.
Former Premier League striker Jason Newell with me this evening as current Premier League striker Sonny Aluko drifts forward for Hull City. 1-2 with Ndoye, and it's a really good challenge by Mertesacker on the edge of the area to win it back. Breaks to Ramsey, whose pass was poor, but it came off the arm and then shin of Livermore, and back to Aaron Ramsey, and Arsenal have possession again. 15 minutes are now gone here at the KC. It's Hull City 0, Arsenal 0. You're listening to Barclays Premier League Live with talkSPORT. Over the halfway line on the left-hand side is Mesut Ozil, who just kind of stands on the ball and lets the whole Hull team get ahead of him, and plenty of teammates too, and then goes back to Koscielny, who tries a diagonal. The second time that ball has been tried by Arsenal. Maybe they're trying to find Bellerin overlapping, and Bellerin hasn't been told, I don't know, but it's gone straight out of play for a goal kick, and we've just seen a picture on our monitors of the face of Arsene Wenger. He looks somewhat disappointed, doesn't he?
He doesn't look too pleased. I think they've started okay. They started okay, Arsenal, but I just think they should be a little bit more in terms of a bit more tempo in their play. I know that Hull are making it very difficult for them to play, but they've had the possession. I think just a little bit more urgency in their play and some more forward runs. There's not enough runs from a Bellerin or from Monreal getting behind the whole back 3 or 5 when they get deeper. It's all very much in front, and the only way you're going to get that space in the front of the Hull defenders is by getting people running in behind.
Will the fact that Chelsea won the league yesterday maybe be affecting this performance?
No, it shouldn't be, because they know what their aim is. They know that they want to go and finish second, and it looks good on the CV that we finished second rather than finishing 4th for Champions League. And it's knowing that they've got a job in hand, because they've got to go and win today to close the gap with Manchester City.
A few oohs from the crowd as Santi Cazorla's crossfield pass was nearly intercepted. It wasn't, and the Arsenal keep coming forward. Ramsey with the ball over the top to Ozil. Back heel by Ozil towards Bellerin, who again didn't continue his run. And Olivier Giroud wasn't quite alive to that situation as well. And Harper, 40 years of age this season in goal for Hull City, comes off his line and gathered. It was a nice idea from Mesut Ozil, but just a lack of communication between the two.
Yeah, it's just that Bellerin, once he saw Ozil sort of started going just a little bit away from goal, he's come out to give him the support on the angle, but it was clever play by Ozil. Bellerin just kept on his run going into the box, would have got that back heel, but that's the run I was talking about. Someone from the deeper areas running past Giroud, getting behind Hull's back 3. That's where they're going to get the space.
17 minutes gone. It's a throw to Hull City. It was midway inside the Arsenal half when he took the throw. It's gone all the way back to James Chester on the right-hand side of that defensive 3. Dawson will now play a crossfield pass towards Brady, who heads on to Quinn, who beats Mertesacker to it. Taken out then by Mertesacker, and that should be a free kick, surely, to Hull City. Yes, it is. Mertesacker complains to Lee Mason and says there was no foul, but it seemed to me that Quinn got there first and Mertesacker took him out. And on the replay, Jason, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it was. But the thing is, you could see straight away it was a ball that he was never going to win, Mertesacker. I think he should have just went out, as he has the covering defender, I think he should have just gone out there and just held Quinn up, because now they've given a free kick away in a very dangerous situation, because they know that they got the height in Hull in terms of the back 3, the 3 defenders coming up in Dawson, Chester and McShane, along with Ndoye. There's a bit of height there, so a quality ball in from Brady, and set pieces could be a thing that could actually aid Hull in getting some opportunities.
For a man of his experience, Mertesacker, some of the mistakes he makes are unbelievable.
Didn't need to go and make that challenge.
Free kick to Hull City. Brady is over it. Whip delivery towards the back post, away by Coquelin. Breaks to Livermore, who can't get a shot away. Ramsey come to close. Good challenge by Coquelin. It breaks to Mesut Ozil, and Arsenal are streaking forward. Mesut Ozil's going right. Players are left. He has found a pass into Coquelin. Coquelin tries to find Giroud. Away by Huddleston. Breaks to Coquelin again. Challenge El Mohammadi, who was then caught by Coquelin, and it's a free kick inside their own penalty area to Hull City. But Aaron Ramsey is sprinting left. He's screaming for it, and it almost seemed for a second like Ozil was going to the corner flag.
He was going away from goal, and I don't know why he wanted to come back on that. He's running away from goal. It's a counter-attack, and he's running away from it. And so when you take too many touches in your counter-attack, that's when it gives more time for the team to get back in. And Ramsey's made an 80-yard run there, and he's got nothing from it. And that was actually an opportunity from Arsenal there on that count to get something from that.
Brilliant breakaway from Arsenal, though, despite the, well, let's call it a mistake that Mesut Ozil seemed to make in it, the way they got forward. There was 5 players forward there within, maybe 8 seconds of being in their own penalty area. Great fitness shown by those Gunners at the end of a arduous season for them. Goal kick from Harper has found Ndoye via Quinn. Back to Huddleston on the centre circle. Robbie Steele to get away from Sanchez. He's right to El Mohammadi now. Cross from deep by El Mohammadi towards the run of Quinn, who's won the header. Not quite sure if it was a header or a shot or a cross from that header. In the end, the header was, just gone wide for a goal kick. I'm going to stop saying header now.
But that's where they've got to be careful there, because Aaron Ramsey actually saw it quite late. Hull actually had a man over on the back post. You had Ndoye pulling onto Bellerin and then Quinn coming in late, and that's the way in terms of the system that they got there. It gives them an opportunity to get extra bodies in the box, because they've got the 2 strikers. They've got Huddleston sitting in there, so extra bodies can get forward, and that's something which can actually help them in terms of creating chances. But for Arsenal defensively, they've got to be able to track those midfield runners.
The Gunners have had just short of 80% possession in the opening 20 minutes, with the scores 0-0. But apart from a long-distance shot by Alexis Sanchez, they haven't really tested the goalkeeper so far.
No, they haven't. Just said they've had...
Ndoye's won the ball back on the halfway line and tried a shot from the halfway as well. Just won it in a nothing area on the right-hand side and immediately went to shoot. It's gone wide of David Ospina's goal. And there's the confidence you get from his record in the Premier League right now.
Yeah, exactly that. 2 or 3 weeks ago, you wouldn't be thinking that, but he's just picked the ball up from a ricochet, 40 yards on the angle, and he's just gone for goal. And that's the confidence in him, because it's seeing that possibly where's the goalkeeper going to be positioned, where it is, but it shows an intent as well. It shows an intent that he's playing on the front foot and he's looking confident and able to go and score some more goals.
5 goals in 9 starts before tonight for the Senegalese international brought in on transfer deadline day. Hull City coming forward, left-hand side, Sonny Aluko. Brady's with him, leaves it for Brady, knocks it back to Huddleston, and Ndoye wants it in the area, and it's a pass out right to El Mohammadi, which Monreal will head away. Chester turns it forward. Monreal clears again. Ozil looks to win it on the left-hand side. Back heel hits Chester, but the ball had just gone out of play before Ozil was able to execute that back heel throw into Hull City. Not back to Chester. Dawson now. They're very deep, Hull City. It's a good 20-25 yards inside their own half when they're attacking. A conscious tactic?
I think part of it is it's just to make the pitch bigger as well, because they've got the extra bodies in midfield. It's just trying to invite Arsenal onto them, just so Huddleston, Quinn, Livermore, they can come and pick the ball up. Because with Hull, as much as people might say about what they're about, but they're a good side. They've got good footballers in their team, and they're people that are prepared to get on the ball and play.
In contrast to the Arsenal, who are playing a fairly high line here, with the likes of Sonny Aluko looking to get in over the top, as we are seeing right now. Ball towards Aluko. Mertesacker has done well to deal with it. Knocks it back to a spinner who looks one up in the air towards Huddleston. It breaks to Ndoye, controls on the thigh and turns, and finds a pass right to El Mohammadi as well. Up against Monreal, he can beat him for pace. We've seen that already. Sanchez is back there helping out, as is Mesut Ozil. They knew that Monreal could be in trouble. Back to El Mohammadi again, trying to beat Monreal. This time it hits the Spaniard. It goes back now to Chester, who's dribbling forward. Finds Livermore. Right to El Mohammadi again. Good cross towards the back post. Quinn is there and he's won it, but all he can do is head it back to Brady on the left-hand side. Another cross comes in. Surely 1-0. No! It was Sonny Aluko. Heads across the area instead of at goal, and it's cleared away by Arsenal. The Gunners will now counter-attack with Sanchez. He's surely been fouled by Livermore. Is that on the far side?
I think it was Livermore, yeah.
And that's a free kick to Arsenal. Sonny Aluko should have made it 1-0.
Yeah, no, that's a great opportunity from Sonny Aluko. But it's good play from Hull. Yeah, Chester just driving down the right-hand side. The first ball comes in from, I think it's El Mohammadi the first time, and again they had an extra body back over on the far post, and it comes back the other side to Brady. Another great ball in the box, and I think he's actually trying to square it to Ndoye rather than go for goal. That's a great opportunity there for him.
And we spoke about confidence with Ndoye and the goals he scored this season. Sonny Aluko, just the 1 goal in the Barclays Premier League this campaign from 11 starts and 11 sub-appearances before tonight. And maybe if that falls to Ndoye, he looks for goal because he's scoring goals.
Yeah, but it should still be an instinct to centre forward or anyone in that sort of area. He should be looking to try and square that from 4 yards. You're looking to try and score yourself.
I absolutely agree. I wouldn't have done it. Certainly Jason Ewell wouldn't have done it.
Wouldn't have done.
But Jason Ewell was playing for Hull City right now. They would be 1 up. That was a mistake there by Sonny Aluko. It's the Gunners coming forward though, trying to immediately respond to that chance. In the end, the referee has stopped play because Aaron Ramsey has gone down. Didn't quite see him get injured. He must have been challenged as the ball went forward there for Arsenal, but Aston Villa just missed it there. I don't know if you saw it a few seconds ago, Jace.
Yeah, it's just the tackle there from Huddleston. There's no intent or malice into it. It's just a strong tackle, and it's just his follow-through's just gone into his ankle. And I think he may have rolled it a little bit as well, but it was a strong challenge, but it was a fair one.
Not had as impressive a season this time out, Aaron Ramsey, as he did in the first, 3-4 months of the last campaign. Just 5 goals in the Barclays Premier League from this is his 20th start. 5 times from the bench he's played in this division as well. But yet another player that always just seems to be injured.
Yeah, again, I mean, that's one that actually slips our radar when we're talking about the injuries that we know that Arsenal have, and he's another one. And I think there was someone made a report on it in terms of there's got to be a way of how you can reduce the injuries that the same players keep getting. And it is an Adam Ramsey, soft tissue injuries, Jack Wilshere, ligament stuff. Sometimes ligaments can be prevented if they do strengthening work. So there's got to be things that have got to be looked at of how do we keep these players fit and getting them ready to play a full season.
18 goals last season in all competitions, Aaron Ramsey, as he really stepped up from being an also-ran in this midfield to becoming a star player of Arsenal quality. 10 goals in all competitions isn't that bad this season. He has scored in the Champions League for the Gunners, most notably the second away at Monaco when they were so close to getting to extra time in that game. And he's become such a vital player. And the way we saw earlier on as well in the penalty area, little volleys, little flicks, he's able to be on the same wavelength of players like Sanchez and Ozil, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think it's always important that you have that goal-scoring midfielder because it's chipping in with the goals. You always want to try and get the goals spread across the team. You obviously want your centre-forward or centre-forwards to get you the goals. You want your wide men to get you assists and chip in with some goals yourself. And same as your midfielders, you want them trying to get into double figures for the season. And as well as your 2 centre-halves, can they get 3 or 4 a season? So with Ramsey, that's what it is. He gives that importance of having an attacking midfielder who scores goals. I think the last one the Arsenal had was more of a Perez, and then Vieira chipped him with a few, Petit chipped him with a few, but as your goal-scoring midfielder, he is the one. Fabregas used to score his goals as well, so you still need someone to come and bring those goals coming from midfield areas.
Certainly in this 4-3-3 as well, the attacking midfielder becomes second striker so often. I mean, Frank Lampard's made a full career of it playing at Chelsea before he moved to Man City, of course. And that's what Aaron Ramsey is trying to replicate. He's back on the field of play now, is Ramsey. Certainly limping fairly heavily as he walks across the field of play. We'll keep you updated on that. Jack Wilshere, by the way, is on the bench this evening for Arsenal, in case you missed that earlier on, and could come on to replace him. Arsenal have possession midway inside their own half. One back by Sanchez. Ozil round the corner to Olivier Giroud, who then just kind of ran away from the ball, thinking someone else would be over there, and they weren't, because that's where Ozil will be, and he just passed you the ball.
He's actually been non-existent.
Huddleston's lost it there to Mesut Ozil. Finds Sanchez dribbling forward. Again. Surely tripped over by Livermore, and that's what, 3 or 4 fouls now by Jake Livermore. This one a dangerous position for Arsenal, about 5 yards away from the edge of the penalty area. It was Huddleston that was caught, and it was a foul by Livermore. And
he's just been booked as well.
Really
just been booked.
Really, really cynical challenge. That's a mistake there from Jake Livermore, and could certainly be a problem. And it's a free kick in a really dangerous position. You just don't need to do that on a yellow card. We were speaking about Mike Williamson for Newcastle earlier on.
No, he's wearing the wrist now because that's his extra tackle that he's allowed now. So he's going to be running. He's on that tightrope now in terms of the next challenge that he gets. He'll be getting sent off.
Free kick to Arsenal. Alexis Sanchez is the man over it. Ozil is there as well, but surely it will be Alexis to fire Arsenal. Into the lead. It's deflected. And goes into the opposite corner to what Steve Harper was standing in. Alexis Sanchez, direct free kick. Arsenal are heading second in the Barclays Premier League table.
No, it was just a delayed reaction from the free kick. I think it clips off the head of Dawson and just loops over Harper. Harper actually just... Yeah, if Harper just stands where he was, he catches that. But he just shifts half a yard to his right, and a deflection from Dawson just sends it into the corner. But it didn't actually seem like it was a goal. But when you look back now, this tackle from Livermore, it was a pointless tackle. Sanchez, he wasn't even running into any danger. He's going into a good position of hold defenders, and they give a free kick away, and they've actually 1-0 down.
Well, there you go. Mistakes in big games will cost you, and that's exactly what we've seen there with a free kick by Alexis Sanchez, deflected into the back of the net. Steve Harper made one good save from Sanchez earlier on, but was unable to stop that one from flying into the back of the net. Just consulting my league table word again, and actually, just made a mistake there, because the goal difference between City and Arsenal would still favour City. And that was actually a live table I was looking at, so I think they'd go to 70 points and they would stay behind City on goal difference. I'll confirm that for you in a minute, because we've got a free kick here for Hull City, which Brady whips over from left to right towards Dawson, cleared away by Arsenal, as far as Alexis Sanchez, who drifts over to the left channel and jinks away from Huddleston into Monreal, runs away from Ndoye, was clipped by Ndoye, and that's going to be a free kick
as well. That's a booking.
And as Jason Yule says, I think we're going to see a yellow card here by Ndoye, for Ndoye. That was a challenge of frustration there.
It was a needless one as well, because sometimes where you make those when you make those fouls just to kill play, take a booking, but there was no need there. And it's one of them ones where it frustrates the manager as well, because he'll probably go into an innocent challenge now, probably be a little bit late, and he's going to find himself probably receiving a second yellow card.
Yeah, so to confirm, Arsenal would stay in third this evening, because their goal difference is now plus 32. City's is plus 35. They would be level on 70 points, but the Gunners would have a game in hand, so they would stay third as things stand this evening. 30 minutes gone here. It's Hull City 0, Arsenal 1. Free kick from 10 yards inside the Arsenal half was just kind of punted long towards Giroud. It was won by Hull City. We need to regroup here. They're making a few costly errors here, the Tigers. Coquelin trying to find Giroud. And again, Olivier Giroud just not quite up with the pace of play this evening. And it goes straight through to the goalkeeper, Harper.
No, as if just one before when the ball got cleared up to him. He's pinning Dawson. He's got a great position to make the ball stick. And he's just miscontrolled it, and that's been the story of his half. He hasn't been in the game at all.
Cleared by Harper, only as far as Francis Coquelin, who finds Cazorla further right to Ozil. Here's Bellerin now over the halfway line. Pass by Cazorla was in the air towards Bellerin, allows Brady into steal, but his header will break back to Hector Bellerin. And Lee Mason says that was a free kick from the fullback on the Hull City player, and that will be a free kick to the Tigers. Just inside their own half. At talkSPORT Live is the place to get in touch with us this evening. Ray Chris has done so, listening from Abuja, Nigeria, coming back from work. Hashtag come on you Gunners. Also Frustrated Ghanaian, that's good, I like that name. Listening to us on our partner station City FM in Ghana. Also Benjamin says he's loving the commentary, but Mourinho's negativity is destroying the Barclays Premier League. City till I die, says Benjamin from Connecticut in the USA. Keep those tweets coming in at talkSPORT Live. I think the Premier League is still in rude health. But yeah, certainly there are people that haven't enjoyed the way Chelsea have won the title this season, which they did yesterday against Crystal Palace. 31 minutes gone. Hull City trying to get right back into this game. They are a goal down into the feet of Ndoye, with his back to goal. Has been forced all the way back to Huddleston on the lip of the centre circle. It's not right to Brady. Brady up against Bellerin. Quinn overlapping, stayed on side. Down the line to Brady again, intercepted by Bellerin. Brady crosses. Oh, and it was behind everybody, and it's intercepted by Mesut Ozil on the edge of his own penalty area. Ozil then volleys a pass out left to Monreal. Monreal finds Alexis Sanchez, the goal scorer, who's come deep, and he spreads the ball right to Hector Bellerin. On the halfway line is Aaron Ramsey. Controls the ball, then turns forward, right to Bellerin. And Arsenal, who are already dominating possession, will perhaps start moving towards cruise control here with a 1-0 lead.
But I think even with Arsenal, they're still the same way in terms of...
Long ball to Ramsey, well controlled by Aaron Ramsey. Shot Ramsey! Oh. Aaron Ramsey makes it 2-0 to Arsenal. Control, shot, deflection, goal. A brilliant pass by Santi Cazorla, some 50 yards. And Aaron Ramsey, the Welsh wizard, strikes again. It's 2-0.
It was just what we were talking about, just about to say with Arsenal, sometimes they can get that complacency setting in when they're 1-0 up. They needed that second goal, and as we spoke before about Aaron Ramsey, that attacking midfielder, getting runs, scoring goals from deep. And it's a great run, it's a great ball from Cazorla, who picks him out edge of the box, turns, and as he shoots, it's a deflection off of Brady and makes it loop over Harper. But again, it's the run from midfield. It takes the other team back, gives yourself some space in front, but it's a great pass from Cazorla.
6 Premier League goals this season now for Aaron Ramsey. Arsenal have won their last 4 Premier League games away from home by a 1-goal margin. They are 2 goals up here against Hull City, who haven't really been able to reach those levels they showed against Crystal Palace and Liverpool in their last 2 games. And it's a real uphill task for Steve Bruce's side from this situation. He's up on the edge of his technical area now in his Hull City tracksuit, trying to cajole his players. It's all black shirt and trousers. Hull City emblem embroidered on the left side of the top, and well, you've got to say that Steve Bruce, what can he change here? What would he change? Because the free kick is almost an anomaly, and then how many times do you see a pass of that quality?
I know, yeah, that's the thing. Is you're talking about the patient build-up that Arsenal had, and Hull allowing them to have the ball in front of them, but you can't stop that. When someone of quality can make that 40 to 50 yard pass to feet, you can't stop that, and that's just the quality in Cazorla.
Foul there on Tom Huddleston by Olivier Giroud in the centre of midfield. Free kick to the Tigers, to be taken by Huddleston. Quick to Brady, who we know has got a whipping cross. Another one comes in towards the back post. Lovely delivery this time, is away by Monreal before Dawson could steal. Breaks to El Mohammadi, who will stop it and cross it. It's away only as far as Livermore, who controls it and then passed it right, thinking Sanchez was on his team, and it goes straight to Sanchez, who advances towards the halfway line with the ball. Challenged by El Mohammadi, but that challenge breaks to Monreal.
I don't think
he's not having a good game here, Livermore.
I mean, the shirts are not that close together in terms of colour, because literally he's actually just passed it to Sanchez as if he was laying it off to his own teammate.
Just didn't see Alexis Sanchez. That was another mistake by Jake Livermore, who, won a yellow card, and then he gives that free kick away, making mistakes. You would kind of wonder if Steve Bruce is thinking about maybe who else is on there. David Myler, a natural replacement. Nikita Jelavic, an attacking option. Certainly Livermore is having a tough old evening against Arsenal right now, and it's the Gunners who have possession. It's the Gunners who have a 2-0 lead. Francis Coquelin finds Sanchez in the centre circle, forced back by Chester, who finds a pass to Koscielny, left to Mertesacker. Cazorla's come deep, maybe going to play another one of those 50-yard Hollywood passes. In the end he goes short to Ozil, who finds Sanchez, who is challenged by Huddleston, but it's won back by Coquelin. That's his job. Lovely dummy by Sanchez from a pass by Ozil, finds Cazorla. Monreal's making a run. He does find Monreal in the area, who tries to turn away from El Mohammadi, and that's cleared away by the Egyptian, only as far as Coquelin, who volleys forward towards Ozil, into Ramsey, round the corner to Ozil. Tries to get across towards Giroud. It breaks back to Cazorla in the area. Santi Cazorla! Shot at goal. It's just helped wide by a deflection and the goalkeeper Harper, and that's going to be a corner to the Gunners on the left-hand side.
They're just turning it up now, Arsenal, saying they've actually upped their tempo, which I spoke about earlier in the game. They're now playing with a little bit more urgency in their play, and the Hull can't get out of their own half. And the thing is, whenever they're getting it, they look at the 2 strikers up front, and it's going up and it's not sticking, because you've got Coquelin in front just screening it and winning everything back.
Corner Cazorla is a poor one, away by El Mohammadi to Ndoye on the edge of his own area, finds a pass left to Brady. Brady finds a return ball to Ndoye, who's won that ball before Bellerin, and he's around the back here, Ndoye. And he tried an outside of the right boot pass to Sonny Aluko in the centre. In the end, he got it completely wrong, and it goes straight through to David Ospina.
But you can see the idea of it as well. He's just trying to play it into that area, but the thing is, it's never going to reach Sonny Aluko, because he's too far the other side of the far post, and Monreal's already in that space. But when we're talking about his confidence, what he should have been doing there is just attacking the box himself, going and trying to think about, right, I'm going to go and create a 1v1 with a goalkeeper, have that positiveness about him, that centre forward, and wanting to go and get that goal.
Yeah, surprised that Ndoye, on his form and his confidence, which is so clear to see, didn't just try and run.
Yeah, just drive straight into the box, and then you're having to commit or make Monreal make a decision. Does he come across, and then he's able to sort of play it across to Aluko, or does he go and have his attempt against Ospina? But I think it was sort of the easy way out of just trying to play the ball in the box.
38 minutes gone. Hull City 0, Arsenal 2. Hello to everyone listening and drinking in Diamond Bar, California. Skipped lunch with my co-workers, says Carlos, to listen to my Gunners. Great commentary, lads. Well, we're doing our very best. I mean, I can't remember a league table, but apart from that, we're doing fine. 39 minutes gone. It's Hull City trying desperately to get back into this game. Ball into the feet of Sonny Aluko with his back to goal. Sees Koscielny take him down from behind, and that's going to be another free kick for Hull City to launch in from a deep position. And they threaten from these positions.
They just said they got the height difference in Dawson, Chester, McShane coming up. And we've seen it as well.
Huddleston takes it quickly. Lovely ball into Ndoye, and his shot just goes wide. It was brilliant play by Huddleston and Damon Ndoye. I think the flag has just gone up against Ndoye on the far side, but really alert to each other's positions there, and he's maybe just a fraction off. But it's a pass along the ground, some 40, nearly 50 yards into the path of Ndoye, who maybe should have done better with his run and shot.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. I was just saying about the big boys coming up, and that's sometimes what you need to do. Is you can't just predict or think, right, because they're coming up, it's going to happen. You still need to keep switched on just for those quick free kicks there. I said just a bit more timing on his run. I said he would have been onside and a better shot opportunity, but it's well thought of von Huddleston there.
Goal kick by a spinner. Breaks through Al-Mohammadi, whose clearance is blocked in the right-back spot by Alexis Sanchez. It's worked back via James Chester to Harper, up towards Ndoye, who's beaten in the air by Mertesacker. Right to Hector Bellerin, a bouncing pass towards Aaron Ramsey, was controlled maybe by the hand, but intercepted by Hull City. They find a pass to Livermore in the centre of the field. Right to Al-Mohammadi, who's got the beating of Monreal, into Ndoye. Right to Al-Mohammadi, big chance for Hull City. Cross, away by Mertesacker, and then a great challenge, running back towards his own goal by Koscielny. As far as Brady on the left-hand side, comes square, forced in field by Ramsey, then tries to slip a ball through to anyone who's made a run. No one did make a run, and it goes through to the goalkeeper Steve Harper. But from wide positions, Al-Mohammadi and Brady are such a threat for Hull City. They've got to make one of these count.
I know, and that's the one time where you're saying to Al-Mohammadi, go on, just pick someone out, and he chooses the wrong decision, and it just filters out. But again, I'm looking at that far post with Quinn coming in. Saying Bellerin again, he's having to mark two players. I said, if they can keep getting the quality balls into the boxes from wide areas, they'll get opportunities, Hull.
Game isn't done yet, not by a long chalk for the Tigers, who are just above the relegation zone as we speak. Big game against Hull, against Burnley, coming up on the 9th of May this Saturday. Should they win that, and if they do lose this evening, you feel they'd probably be safe on 37 points. Aaron Ramsey, running back towards his own goal, is able to shake off a couple of challenges and find a pass back to Mertesacker as we approach half-time. And you've got to say, Jason Ewell, as Arsenal spray this ball around, they've been pretty dominant in this match so far.
Yeah, they have done. It's just with the possession, but you still want them to be doing a bit more with it. You want them to start having more attempts, more crosses, more shots, which they haven't done. And what it can do is said, once you have so much of the play and you get in the success, you're going to find yourself getting done on the counter-attack, which they've got to be careful of.
Nacho Monreal running from left to centre into the Hull City half, finds Alexis Sanchez. Ramsey on the right-hand side now is found by Sanchez, forced back by Quinn to Hector Bellerin. And the Gunners, who have dominated possession throughout this game, it was 80% when we looked around about the 20-minute mark. It's still 66%, very, very high. 6 shots in the game, 3 on target, shows their real dominance in this match, Arsene Wenger's team. And the dominance of 2015 has been, well, incomparable really to what they provided the rest of this season. Before this evening, they have more points after 33 games this season than any season since 2009-10, but most of those come in the second half of this season, because they had fewer points after 12 games than they've ever had in the Premier League. So they've had their worst ever start, but then their best second half of the season for the best part of 6 years.
As you said, the 2015 which they had has been very good, very impressive in terms of their wins ratios. I think if it's 11 games they've won, 2 defeats and one draw. So it just shows, once they had everyone fit, what they're capable of. We said it is an excuse. They shouldn't be making them excuses, but it is shown that once those players are fit, they are getting the results.
Approaching half-time with Hull City. Well, they were trying to get on the counter-attack on the front foot, but the Gunners have won it back in their own half. Bellerin on the right-hand side, down the line to Mesut Ozil, challenged by Quinn. Finds McShane, back to Quinn again. Lovely ball by McShane into Brady, gets Hull out of trouble. Brady nearly loses possession to Ozil. Back to McShane, who tried to find a pass towards Ndoye, but it was a poor one that time, and it's intercepted by Koscielny. Cazorla, Koscielny Cazorla, Coquelin, Cazorla into Ramsey now. Ramsey away from a challenge, forward to Ozil, back heel to Sanchez, back to Mesut Ozil! Shot and goal, well saved down low to his left by Harper, but great football by Arsenal, and the interaction between Ramsey and Ozil and Sanchez at times is absolutely splendid.
Yeah, that's Arsenal at their best there. Cazorla in centre midfield, just playing a great ball through the heart of Hull's midfield into Aaron Ramsey. Great little turn, plays into Ozil. There's a little flick round the corner to Sanchez, continues his run, gets it back, but just didn't have the power in the shot. But that's what the Arsenal's about. When you see them play that quickly, just that one pass breaks down the midfield, and they're in the areas where they can go and exploit Hull.
Santi Cazorla, 10 yards inside his own half. Pass between two players into Coquelin. Giroud clips one back to Cazorla, searching for a third before half-time. What a ball by Cazorla! Sanchez saved by Harper. Will it break left for Sanchez? Yes, it will. They've got it again. Cross towards Giroud. Won by Giroud, but he can't find a teammate. Huddleston intercepts. Quinn now, back to his goalkeeper Harper, who will clear away long. What a pass that was by Santi Cazorla. It's between maybe three defenders, like an arrow through them into Sanchez's path. And that should be 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, that's when they say, is it the eye of the needle sort of pass? I mean, it was a great ball, lovely weighted as well. But it's the run as well. If you can get... When you make those runs and you've got someone like Cazorla that can find you, that's why you make the runs. Similar to Ramsey with his goal, and Sanchez there, knowing that if I make that run, he can find me. It was a great ball. He's just tried to lift it over Harper, but Harper stayed big and got a good hand to it.
2 minutes will be played additional to the 45 at the end of this half. The Tigers coming forward with Quinn, who's got a great relationship with Robbie Brady on this left-hand side. One goes left, one comes central. Both got pace, both can cross. Huddleston loses possession though on the other side of the field to Mesut Ozil, and the Gunners are streaking forward. Ramsey, what a ball! Alexis Sanchez round the keeper. Alexis Sanchez scores the third for Arsenal just before half-time. An utterly awesome goal for Arsenal to score. 3-0, Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah, we just said again about that should have been free of Sanchez's opportunity before, but again, it's just a pass. It's a great pass this time from Ramsey. Just splits McShane and Dawson, and again, it's the run. When people mention about straight balls, diagonal runs, that's what it is. All it is a straight pass through the gap, diagonal run, and he goes round Harper with ease and slots it away for 3-0. But it's a great finish to the half with Arsenal. We said you just needed them to get more opportunities at goal with the possession they've had, and they've done that in the last 5 minutes.
Well, earlier on, I mistakenly said that Arsenal were heading second in the league. They're only, a goal away now from actually going second in the league. 3-0 up at half-time. Exceptional performance. And some of the movement, I mean, that goal, we'll talk about it in a bit when we get the half-time break, but Giroud running one way, Sanchez the other. The pass comes in, almost unstoppable.
It is, and that's the thing he's saying. If you get people who's prepared to run off the ball.
Hull City coming forward. Brady's cross left-hand side, and Doyle couldn't get on the end of it, and Arsenal will break again here. Ramsey through to Sanchez. Oh, he's just been forced right, Alexis Sanchez, but he's still got it here. Up against McShane, trying to find a pass into Giroud. Hits the stomach of McShane, who will just desperately clear away here for Hull City by the corner flag. Well, they're being booed here by some of the home fans. But there's not much the Tigers could have done against this exceptional Arsenal performance. Alexis Sanchez has been an absolute monster in the opening 45 minutes. He scored twice on 28 and 45. Aaron Ramsey scored the second goal of the evening and assisted superbly the third. Well, Arsenal, absolutely brilliant. Let's hope Hull City aren't too demoralised. At the break, it's Hull 0, Arsenal 3. This is talkSPORT's coverage of the Barclays Premier League Live.
Next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live, Everton versus Sunderland from Goodison Park.
I still come back to McCarthy here into the penalty area. McCarthy dances all the way through the Manchester United defence to finish low past David De Gea.
It's spilled by the goalkeeper, and it's home already inside a minute. Connor Wickham, well, he saved Sunderland last season with goals to keep them up. Is he going to do it again this time round?
Stoke City versus Tottenham Hotspur from the Britannia Stadium.
Will Adams shoot goals? Charlie Adams drives it into the ground, and Charlie Adams Stadium. From behind, Stoke City come to be in the lead in the Britannia Stadium.
Here comes Spurs looking to get back on terms, and they have. Nasser Chadli has run onto a through ball, taken one touch to control and dispatched it beyond Kelvin Davis, and for the second time in the game, Spurs have got themselves level.
Crystal Palace versus Manchester United from Selhurst Park.
Harry had the strength to win the challenge. Pantilimon comes a long way, and it could be 4. It is 4, and Belatti has got his hat-trick.
Needs Methoda stand over it for Ashley Young to take right-footed. Free header for 4-1. Manchester United are running away with it. Chris Smalling has gone in on the act.
Manchester City versus Queen's Park Rangers from the Etihad Stadium.
City are on the counter-attack with Aguero. Aguero slips past one challenge. He's got Navas in acres of space. Navas back to Aguero. Terrific goal. Brilliant goal by Manchester City on the break. Sergio Aguero celebrates.
But Phillips has retrieved possession and tries to turn away from Richardson, and does turn away from Richardson across the face of goal for Charlie Austin, and Charlie Austin has struck that ball right into the back of the net. Goal for Queen's Park Rangers.
Chelsea versus Liverpool from Stamford Bridge.
But Chelsea have played in Hazard. Hazard to put Chelsea in front. A delightful finish from Eden Hazard through the legs of David De Gea. And what a huge goal that is for Chelsea.
Deep crossing towards Sturridge. Liverpool double their money, and Daniel Sturridge finally does get on the score sheet from Jordan Henderson's cross.
Arsenal versus Swansea from the Emirates Stadium.
He's got two players with him, Giroud, but he goes for goal and scores himself. And Arsenal are going second in the Barclays Premier League. Olivier Giroud rounds it off. A wonderful day for Arsenal.
Oliveira goes one way, and the ball into the channel finds him. Back across the face of goal! And there it is, goal number 3 from the unlikeliest of sources for Swansea City. Jack Cork has got the goal.
That's all coming up next weekend on Barclays Premier League Live with talkSPORT.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football. Barclays Premier League Live with talkSPORT. Hull City, well, they're not safe from relegation yet, and things aren't getting any better for them against a rampant Arsenal. Free kick to Arsenal. Alexis Sanchez is the man over it. Ozil is there as well, but surely it will be Alexis to fire Arsenal. Oh, into the lead. It's deflected and goes into the opposite corner to what Steve Harper was standing in. Alexis Sanchez, direct free kick. Arsenal are heading second in the Barclays Premier League table. On ball to Ramsey, well controlled by Aaron Ramsey. Shot Ramsey! Aaron Ramsey makes it 2-0 to Arsenal. Control, shot, deflection, goal. A brilliant pass by Santi Cazorla, some 50 yards. And Aaron Ramsey, the Welsh wizard, strikes again. It's 2-0. The Gunners are streaking forward. Ramsey, what a ball. Alexis Sanchez, round the keeper. Alexis Sanchez scores the third for Arsenal just before half-time. An utterly awesome goal for Arsenal to score. 3-0, Alexis Sanchez. Yeah, really, Arsenal have been absolutely awesome in that first half. Dominating possession, dominating chances, scoring top goals as well. We'll dissect the first 45 minutes with Jason Newell, former Premier League striker, in a few moments' time. And just to reiterate, Arsenal would be staying third in the table as things stand. If they score again, they will go level on goal difference and level on points with Manchester City in that race for second, all trying to get as high as they possibly can in the table because of course, we want to avoid those qualification rounds in the Champions League. Just to let you know, we do have plenty of action for you coming up this Saturday, the 9th of May, a full programme. We start with Sunderland going to Everton this Saturday, 12:45 UK time kickoff, on air from 12 o'clock. The combination of Toby Gillis and Bobby Gould not to be missed this weekend. Frankly, it might be the only time it ever happens as well. So join in if you can. We might all be getting fired Saturday afternoon. Big games coming up all across the afternoon. Aston Villa against West Ham is a huge one. Hull City against Burnley. It doesn't get much bigger than that right now in the Barclays Premier League. Then this Sunday, big games for you as ever. City, Queen's Park Rangers, and then that guard of honour at Stamford Bridge as Liverpool go to Chelsea. The Barclays Premier League preview show comes out on Thursday, looking ahead to all of those games, where Jason will join me, as will the former Arsenal winger Adrian Clark. Right here on Monday Night Football, Hull City, well, they're being put to the sword by Arsenal right now. It's 3-0 to the Gunners. You're listening to Barclays Premier League Live with talkSPORT.
One planet, one game, one football. The all-new One Football app is available right now for iOS, Android and Windows phones. With all the latest football news, live scores, results, highlights and more from the Premier League, Champions League and hundreds of international competitions. Download the One Football app from your app store today to follow all the Premier League matches with live text commentary and vote for your man of the match. One Football, the best app for football fans.
Well, Everton coming forward here. It's 3. Kevin Morales off the bench to finish Manchester United off.
This is Barclays Premier League Live. Exclusive global Premier League radio commentary and post-match analysis.
Found his way to Walters, back to Arnautovic. Tries a turn, it's going to come back for Adam. Oh, absolute rocket into the top corner. Stoke deservedly level.
Barclays Premier League Live. All the biggest games every Premier League weekend.
It's going to be in, surely. It's turned in. Leicester have the lead. Just a minute after Burnley miss a penalty. Leicester go off the other end and put the ball into the back of the net.
This is Barclays Premier League Live. Never miss a kick of the Barclays Premier League. All weekend, every weekend.
Here's Kolarov, who thought his goal had won the game. It's a good delivery, and it's turned in by Fernandinho. They were 2-0 up, they were pegged back to 2-2, and Fernandinho, with his third goal of the season, makes it Manchester City 3, Aston Villa 2.
Exclusively live Barclays Premier League action throughout the season. This is Barclays Premier League Live.
Oliveira goes one way, and the ball into the channel finds him. Back across the face of goal! And there it is! Goal number 3 from the unlikeliest of sources for Swansea City, Jack Cork.
This is Barclays Premier League Live. Exclusive global Premier League radio commentary and post-match analysis.
Ramirez plays it in Doyle, and Doyle is seeing it, and he does, and it's Hull City who will take all 3 points in an afternoon where they needed to get the job done.
Barclays Premier League Live. Exclusive worldwide coverage and full match commentary of the Barclays Premier League.
Here comes Spurs looking to get back on terms, and they have for the second time in the game. Spurs have got themselves level.
talkSPORT live on TuneIn. This is Real Radio.
Back in the net!
Hear every Barclays Premier League match live, including next weekend's match between Chelsea and Liverpool.
Hazard to put Chelsea in front. A delightful finish from Eden Hazard.
Every kick, every goal from the home of football on TuneIn in association with talkSPORT.com, official global audio partner of the English Premier League.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football, Barclays Premier League Live with talkSPORT. Hull City being put to the sword by Arsenal right now. 3-0, 2 for Sanchez and 1 for Aaron Ramsey. Jason, you're alongside me. Arsenal dominating possession, dominating chances, dominating the goals. Is there any way back for Hull City from this position?
No, there isn't, unless they get off to a good start, then they give themselves an opportunity. But I think you can just sort of see in the mannerisms as well, when the goals have been conceded, there hasn't actually been sort of like a fight back, or in any terms of the players having a go at each other, or so like some sort of inquest. It's just literally the goals have been going in and it's just allowing it to happen. So unless they come out and have a really good first 5 minutes, I can't really see anything happening for them.
How much do you think that it's been down to the fact the Burnley game is coming up this Saturday, and maybe the players, if not the management, are targeting that game? They will know that will move them to 37 points, and that's almost safety.
You just got to take this one game at a time. They've got to be thinking for the next 45 minutes, they've got to give it a go. Because now they've got to be thinking of building momentum going into that Burnley game. And we need to try and keep it respectable in terms of the scoreline. And so it's building now. The damage is done. It's right. Can we start to turn that around by trying to put in a good performance, a good reaction, trying to give these fans something to sing about and get the confidence back in them going into this game on the weekend? Because what they don't want to do is go down 5, 6, 7, and all of a sudden everyone's demoralised, and it's going to be a massive pick-me-up for the game on the weekend.
From Arsenal's perspective, we've been talking about the need to add goals to their goal difference tally to get above Man City, to certainly finish above City and United in second in the table this season. And you've just got to feel that they'll continue to attack as much as they possibly can, because there's a 4-5-6-0 on here if they want it.
Yeah, and that's it. And as you said, if they want it, and it's probably one of the things that Arsene Wenger may say in the change room at half-time, is that, look, let's not be silly about it, but we need to get more goals. It doesn't mean we go and be silly in terms of over-committing bodies forward. We still want to try and have a clean sheet. That's what you always want as a team, keeping clean sheets. But the opportunities are there to go and get extra goals. But the thing is, they haven't had to work too hard for it. And that's where you think in terms of the complacency might set in. But they can't afford to do that. They know they want to get the goals, but they also want to have a clean sheet and finish with a good all-round performance.
Half-time, Hull 0, Arsenal 3. This is talkSPORT's coverage of the Barclays Premier League Live.
To everyone ready to take a step, make a difference and prosper. To everyone who puts on their team jersey and cheers their team on from 1,000 miles away. To everyone ready to play the beautiful game in the right way and play their part in making this the greatest season ever. We at Barclays, proud sponsors of the Barclays Premier League, say thank you. You are the true spirit of the game. If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. talkSPORT's international service covers every Barclays Premier League match live.
It's spilled by the goalkeeper, and it's home already! Inside a minute! Connor Wickham, well, he saved Sunderland last season with goals to keep them up! Is he going to do it again this time round?
Full match commentary, pre- and post-match game analysis, goals as they go in from every single Barclays Premier League match.
Oh, that's a real blunder from Braguz, and he passed it straight to Aguero! It's a gift from Manchester City. Sergio Aguero opened the scoring inside 3 minutes.
Hear goals as they go in from around the grounds during our feature commentary match.
Shelby, who comes away with it, finds the pass out wide, and there's a chance. Sigurdsson! Montero with the ball into the middle, and Gylfi Sigurdsson has given Swansea the lead at St James's Park.
Every game is covered.
Might still come back from McCarthy here into the penalty area. McCarthy dances all the way through the Manchester United defence to finish low past David De Gea.
Get involved in debates, ask in-game questions to our commentary team, and get the world's fastest goal updates with @talkSPORT live on Twitter.
Shane Long, decent ball in Pala. That's a fabulous header. And Pala, who seems to have rediscovered his